one podcast, mining the Magic the Gathering community for salt. This is the Howling Salt Mine.
It's the Howling Salt Mine. The Howling Salt Mine.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Howling Salt Mine podcast, the podcast where we delve into those salty, salty mines of the Magic the Gathering community, find the saltiest stories, the saltiest posts we love, put them in our mine cart, and bring them right back up to you, our dear prospectors at home. As always, I'm your host, Sam, and I'm joined by my two co-hosts, Mike and Tony. Say hey, guys.
What up, what up, what up?
What up?
And before we go any further, that's right, I fucking remembered. But did I remember to have the list of patrons open?
No, you did not.
Remember that it happened. Didn't remember that the list existed.
200 will remember to have the list up.
I don't know. Who knows about that?
Who knows?
You know, we got to shout out our nice patrons because they are nice. And this week we have Alex Balix, Cream Bean, Hephaestus Bolts, Prime Speaker Florian, Yates Judge, Dr. Black, Accidental TPK, and Royal Flood. Thanks for being so nice, guys. We appreciate it. Appreciate ya.
Appreciate.
Nice.
So, guys, I don't know if you noticed, but it's episode 100.
100 of them.
Is that 2 zeros after the 1?
That is the number with 2 zeros after a 1, Tony. You're correct.
Nice.
It's going to get like marginally more difficult to remember what episode we're on now, because now you have to remember 3 digits.
I guess so. I mean,
Who knows what that first digit could be?
probably a 1. Oh man, it's fucking crazy. 100 episodes, and we never missed a week. That's, I think, the fucking craziest thing.
That is like insane because like that's what that translates to. 100 weeks of
100
things.
weeks.
I don't think I
Yeah.
have anything else in my life that I've been that consistent with.
Eating and pooping.
You know, I said it, Sam, and I literally instantly thought of that. But I was like, I'm not gonna call it out. Like, you know, everybody knows we all poop. Like, hey, got
Everybody
there.
poops, guys. You know,
Yeah.
and if you're out there and you don't, well, you should try it out. It's a pretty good time.
Actually, 99 weeks.
Yeah, I think you're right though, Mike. I think it actually is.
There have been 99 weeks where someone was looking forward to the next Howling Salt Mine episode. Because before the first one, no one knew. No one knew it was coming, right? So then there's been 99 contained between.
That wasn't our claim though, because I'm pretty sure we said welcome back in the first episode, right?
Oh, did we say welcome back in the first episode?
I'm pretty sure.
That's just the allure I bring, you know, the professionalism. I wanted people to think we were established, even though it was clearly our pilot episode and we weren't.
It's an aspirational welcome back.
Exactly. Just laying the groundwork for the consistent welcome backs that I would say every single week. But yeah, I think it has actually been shy of 100 weeks because we also launched with 3 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, I think we recorded those 3 weeks in a row. So maybe it counts. And then there's the lost episode, of course, that's on our Patreon. So yeah, you know, there's some fluff there.
But still, 100. This is episode 100, so that's what counts.
You know, it's a real shame that we didn't fucking plan anything for this episode.
Yeah, I know. We should have thought of some cute gimmick.
Yeah.
We really should have. It's a bummer.
Get fucked, 4th player.
Fuck 100th episode.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, get fucked with 100th episode. Sorry.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, let's do a little housekeeping though, because like I just wanted to talk to you guys about the mine. Like the mine's kind of in disrepair, you know. I don't know if you guys noticed, but like the front door isn't closing all the way.
Yeah, but I mean, if you just like push hard,
it's been closing fine for me.
it's like in the, you know, it's in the summer when all your doors swell and you can't fucking close them anymore in your old fucking New England houses. It's the same shit. It's fine.
Yeah, but also when you do get them closed, they close like extra good because it's like
yeah, they're really shut.
Yeah, they're really shut. That's what I've been getting. I'm sure I've been really shutting it up there.
I feel like this is a direct attack on a door in my house that is not shutting correctly right now.
It's not. We've all had those doors. Everybody knows those doors.
In an old New England house like the one I live in, Tony.
There's a door in my house that will not close. Just
That's
won't do
literally
it.
what I meant. What are you crying about in the mine, Sam?
I'm just saying that the front door hasn't been closing all the way. But I mean, if you guys say it's closed, I'm gonna trust you.
It's definitely closed. Also, like another complaint, we've definitely been low on some of our kitchen supplies recently. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but
I have noticed that. There's also been like a weird like snoring sound coming from that room.
yeah.
Well, I was ignoring the snore.
That's
I
not
just
weird.
assumed. Yeah.
I mean, you guys know what that's about.
It's just like a crusty dickling or something, right?
I thought it was just like salt mine rats, like the very
Salt
common
mine
problem of
rats.
like a salt mine rat that snores in your kitchen. I just figured.
No, salt mine rats use CPAPs. They don't. They don't snore.
I mean, my people, dude, you got to use the CPAP,
Yeah.
You don't want to fucking die in your sleep.
Yeah, it's true. You do not.
Well, okay, that's good. I mean, this is a very special episode. It's a special day. I just don't want like random people wandering into the mine and like asking us if we have salt for sale, which is always the question that we get.
People are always sending inquiries.
That would be the fucking worst.
It's like just because we set up our business in a salt mine doesn't mean we have to sell salt,
Yeah. It's like you don't go to Target just to buy targets,
Yeah.
Come on.
Exactly. Or walls at Walmart. Like there's so much more, you know?
There's way more out there.
Yeah, it's more than meets the eye for sure.
Oh, did you guys hear that? I do think I hear something though.
Yeah.
I think oh my God, someone's here. Holy shit. Is that Mike Carosa?
It's me, buddy. You guys got to keep it down in here. I've been trying to sleep this whole time.
You've been in the mine the whole time?
Yeah, where am I supposed to go? It was like sleepy time, and then I just hung around. Now it's spring. It's time to wake up.
You didn't notice, Sam? He was like sleeping just like in the kitchen of the mine. It wasn't
Oh my
like
God.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
mine has a kitchen?
Yeah, of course. It's a complete abode.
Have you not been using the kitchen, Tony?
I definitely have not been using the
Tony
kitchen.
hasn't been in the kitchen
dude,
at all.
that's a big perk. Big perk
Mike's
of working
been
in the
around to
mine.
tuck me in every now and then, though.
Well, Mike, you were last on the show in episode 35, and that was in February of 2023. So
Has it been that long?
if you've been in the mine for that long, I think it's safe to say that you have some severe vitamin deficiencies.
How's my beard, baby? Is it looking fresh?
It's like
It's good.
Yeah, it's huge. Who's that guy that fell asleep in the fairy tale and never woke up? What is that, Rumpelstiltskin?
I think you're describing a dead guy.
I was going to say the same. I think that's just guess.
Yeah.
I thought there was a guy.
I thought there was a guy. That's such a funny phrase to just throw out there. I don't know. I thought there was a guy.
I thought there was a guy. I don't know, man.
I thought there was a guy. Oh, I'm wrong. I'm wrong because I thought there was a guy.
I'm pretty sure there must have been a guy at this point,
Probably
honestly.
a guy.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be
There's got to be a guy.
in a world full of fairy tales. There's got to be at least a guy out there,
It is very fun to just keep referring to a guy, and we mean nothing.
Oh man,
I
now it's
can't
gonna
tell
bug
what
me.
we're talking about. No, you're Googling? Sam,
I'm fucking
Kids
googling
have
it,
already
dude.
degenerated.
get off your Google.
I have, man, it's just telling me Sleeping Beauty. I know it's not that.
Sam
dude.
saw the first tangent and charged down it.
Just
It's
fucking
literally
jumped into it.
Julie.
Yeah. Okay.
We haven't made it 20 seconds into the bit, and Sam's immediately like,
I'm already.
no. It's
There's a guy.
it's based in fact.
I need you to know about it's not just a guy. There's this one
There's
guy.
the guy.
There's a specific guy. Yeah.
Sam, we know you're smart, but let's be dumb for a second.
I just want to. I'm not even proving that I'm smart. I'm proving that I am able to Google something, and I didn't fucking find it, so I actually didn't even Google.
I was going to say you
I
didn't prove that you're able to Google something.
Yeah, I proved the exact opposite. Oh man. Well, Mike, it's lovely to have you. Well, I'd say back in the mine, but as we established, you've been here the whole time.
Yeah.
I should be
Never
welcoming
left.
you guys back to the mine. Hey, what's up? Welcome back to your mine. What's up?
It's been a productive year for you in here.
It's been good.
In the last year and a couple months, you shifted from the Am I the Bullis article, which is still alive and well, to Am I
Yeah.
the Bull cast,
Damn right.
your new podcast.
Hell yeah, dude. Am I the Bullcast is the podcast based on Am I the Bullis over at commandersherald.com. And I know this is coming out sooner than when well, look, we could just spoil this right away. We had to do a two-parter with the Howling Salt Mine boys because we got to talking lots. So I feel
Yeah.
like we're gonna have fun with I think what we're gonna be calling Howling Salt Month. And
Howling Salt
Yeah,
Month,
yeah.
dude.
the way that breaks up is gonna be just because we're bi-weekly release. So it's just,
Oh, a full month takeover of
it's just
us.
literally
That's
you guys for that
amazing.
one
2
month.
weeks. That's so
That's
funny.
so amazing. I love
Yeah.
that.
What a privilege.
Honestly, it could have been 3 episodes. I remember talking so much that I was chastised between the 2 episode recordings.
Hey man, if it were up to me, we'd be doing a side podcast, all of us. I think,
dude.
If we merge the 2 together, am I the salty mind bolus? How am I? Okay, look, there's
How am
the
I
workshopping
bolus?
that needs to be done.
Effort.
How
Am I the bolus in the salt mine over here?
How am I the bolus in this situation? Oh man, I love that. That is very good.
That's great.
And look, let's be real here. It's awful, but it's fun to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's provocative. People are going to remember it.
Gets the people going.
I don't know. It really just rolls off the tongue,
Yeah,
it
really
does. It does.
How am I the bolus?
How am I the bolus? It's such a complaint. Like, oh, who, me? How am I the bolus?
It sounds like my Italian cousin learning English for the first time, and he's got a mouthful of beans.
Full of beans.
He's trying them for the
man.
first time. He doesn't know beans.
Well, Mike, we're super happy to have you here. I mean, I know it's just happenstance. We did leave the front door
Yeah.
open to the mine, but it's been 100 episodes for us, so we're excited to have you here on our 100th
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Huge. Congrats.
Thanks.
What a milestone.
It's wild.
Yeah.
And you know what? It feels like 100 episodes.
Uh-oh.
It's not one of those things where I'm like, can you believe it's 100 episodes? I'm like, yeah, it feels exactly, maybe even more than 100.
you know that joke is just a gateway into like, take my wife, please jokes, right? Like
Hey, the old ball and chain.
ball and chain.
that's the same energy.
Cha-cha-cha. So it's been so long since we've
It has
hung with
been.
you. I'm curious, what's making you salty lately? Has anything happened to you in this last year and change that you want to share with us? You want to get some salt to spill for us?
So look, I mean, let me tell you this. Yes, my wallet hates how much Magic is coming out lately, because your boy likes to play the game that he loves so much. That's for
Yep.
sure.
I feel
Did I
that.
do 2 pre-releases this weekend? Hell yeah, I did.
Damn.
You know why? Because the set's fucking sick. And you know
Yeah.
what else? I know that if I buy any of these cards, they're not going to be worth anything in the next couple months. And then I say that knowing fully well that Roaming Throne is now $50.
It's 50 now?
Yeah,
God.
dude. It's not going down.
Yeah.
Buddy, I pre-ordered 16 at $10 each. I dropped that money,
Holy
and now
shit.
That's
I'm
muck.
gonna make
That's not
nothing
just
because-
muck money, dude.
Yeah, that's
No, no, no.
serious
Throne
money.
money.
That
That
throne
is
money.
more than
Damn.
mug money.
I'm putting it in decks, baby. No, it's such a boring card. I realized too late. Anyway,
Yeah.
what's making me salty? I do think that the ubiquity of like stapley kind of cards that are outdoing other cards are just kind of making the format a little stale in some ways, where you see like the same stuff over and over again. Where's the flavor stuff? Give me the stuff that people was like, I opened this when I was 14 and it's all beat up and gross, and I like that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, I'm over here like, yeah, this Tesa deck does have a Shepherd of Rot in it and exactly all the other stuff. You know it's coming.
Yeah.
I think you just described Simic as a color, but
Yeah, Simic's trying though. Okay, let's say Outlaws and Thunder Junction gave us that little bear guy who's like, hey, if you cast stuff from exile or anywhere but your hand, you get $2 off. How about that? We're doing that.
That is
Different
true.
ramp.
There's this problem with Civic Commanders where if it just draws and puts a land into play, everyone's like, boo, that fucking sucks. And then they come up with these like really unique Civic Commanders, and we're like, we don't like those either, though.
Yeah, because there's no support for it. It has to be a support character in a teamer deck for it to do anything right now.
Yeah, it needs to
You
have
know?
a little bit of spice, that bit of heat on
Yeah.
the side.
I'll say the thing that gets me saltiest, and I'm gonna go there. I'm going there.
Do it.
If you listen to the episode featuring a caller by the name of CC Orion of the Commander Cookout podcast over on Am I the Bullcast, you will have heard me talk about this.
That's some good subtle product placement.
I love
there.
that.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's
What can I
good.
say? We
integrated
already
marketing.
plugged it, but I'm telling you guys exactly what it is.
That's good.
Because I went on a rant. I went like the episode ends with me being like, well, I don't know how we make this fun after that. So let's just say goodnight. And we like I go off And you know what it is? It's because I keep seeing them. These people, the thing that makes me salty, here's a pet peeve for me. People who go to like Facebook groups or Reddit groups being like, here's a commander that I want to build so I can punish my friend group. Buddy, no. 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 If your motivation is spite to make a deck and show up and like ruin someone's night rather than have a direct conversation being like, I really rather not play against this kind of archetype, or like, hey, you guys target me a lot, and you just show up with send triplets or like whatever deck is like your deck can't do anything, but I'm gonna do everything. Go fuck yourself. I just flat out.
What if the way they go about it is not by building a deck that's just way stronger, but just like specifically says like fuck you to that thing? Like someone's playing a bunch of aristocrats and you just build Yasharn.
I think that's pretty shitty. Also, Mike, I think that's a shitty thing too. I'll just jump right in real quick since that's exactly what Tony and I experienced when you built the Yasharn deck. I would say that's shitty.
It just makes me sad, you know.
I think so. I'm an aristocrats guy. I love me stuff going to the graveyard. I love stuff coming out of the graveyard. I'm a big graveyard as the fun part guy. If I'm not sacrificing something, am I really playing Magic? You know what I mean?
How true.
So somebody being like, "Hey, hey, Mike's coming over to play tomorrow," and you're like, "I got this great idea. Let me build the one deck that he can't do anything against." I'll be on my phone the rest of the time. I'll be like, "Somebody remove that thing. Everything I got is like it. I have to sacrifice this Caustic Caterpillar to get rid of that enchantment. I have to sack this friggin' what's his face so I can get my Ravenous Chupacabra back, you know?" And it makes sense if you're gonna be like, you know, there's a lot of sack decks in my meta. I could put Yasharn in my already ridiculous Atraxa list or whatever. That works. Cool. That's fine. We hate it, but at least it's not gonna come back the next turn.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think that's the thing with decks like that is if you're gonna have like a silver bullet commander, just put it in the 99 because then it's not coming up every game. But when it does come up, it's like it still has that intended effect, you know?
Yeah.
See, I've had this come up in the column where somebody's like, this guy was brought his like Pub Stompy Eldrazi deck to play against this new guy and two of our friends. And I knew he played it, and I played the deck that I know I have Void Mirror in, kept a hand with it, and he was upset about me playing it. And it's like, yeah, that does suck. But like also if the goal is to teach a new guy how to play, maybe don't show up with your Eldrazi deck. Like that's a crazy move. It's one thing if you're like piloting it together, but at the same time, that's a wild move. Also, how do you explain the colorless symbol as like a, you know, it's a square in the gray area. I don't know. They put it on the side. It's a little diamond. But that said, I like specifically, I'm talking about the guys. They do like my play group. I don't want friends. I don't need any friends. How can I make this busted? How do I break this commander? And before you ask, no, I don't need friends. You know why? Because I've got this waifu pillow that I love so much. Yeah, that's right. I'm double dipping on the hate on these guys.
It's funny because I see a lot of posts like that. Like I see these posts you're talking about, Mike, all the time
absolutely.
on Reddit.
They're always on.
It's this funny thing where people will be like, you know, we have all these combo decks in my pod, and I want to show my friends that we shouldn't all be playing combo decks. So I'm going to build a counterspell deck, and it's only counterspells, and it's got Baral. So tell me your favorite counterspells. And when you bring that busted counterspell deck to the pod and play against your combo friends and shut them out, they're not going to walk away from that game and be like, you know what? He's right.
I learned something today.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I really shouldn't play combo. They're going to be like, I need to jam my combos faster and put some shit that's going to stop counterspells in my deck.
Yeah.
Like it's not imparting the lesson that you want when you do that shit.
It's also like the way that they approach it is always the problem for me too. It's like, I want them to pay. It's like, that's what it is. It's like, I've been wronged. You know what I mean? Like, look, it's one thing to go to a game and like you keep trying to play this one little dirtle deck that's not performing well because your other friends are building like crazy high powered, just like bazooka gun decks that do the thing immediately. Here's a thought. Have a chat with your play group. Like, hey, I spent a lot of time trying to make this deck work and I think it comes together really nicely. It's just at this table, it doesn't stand a chance. Is there any chance we can maybe have a league, or like maybe we can all bring our decks that might take a little bit more time to set up? Is that so hard to have that conversation? Is it so hard to also, if you're in an area where you have access to like an LGS or other folks you play Magic with, maybe they're the play group that you want to play that little deck with, the one that's not doing so much. Hey, they're the play group that gets to experience this like fun, sweet, creative thing, and then you go be spiky with these other guys. Like, sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
I feel like having a conversation with anybody that you spend all this time with should be easier than spending all this time, what I imagine, like hunched over your friggin' computer while it's just like the light is so bright it's blaring into your eyes and melting your eyelids, just so you can find what cards make Zen triplets trigger twice.
Yeah,
and you get to pick,
just sweating and licking your lips, and you're like, yeah, and then I'll get 2 upkeeps.
Yeah, damn, that's what I'm talking about.
Put Paradox Haze in there, and
yeah. If you're just trying to get other people to change, the way more effective way is like impress them with a deck archetype that's maybe different than what they're doing. Like if you start playing something else and they're like, whoa, that's a pretty cool thing to do, then they might want to try that out too. So if you're doing something that's cool and is not aristocrats, that might be like, maybe I want to try that out too,
Mike, no one wants to play Yasharn.
I get it.
No one likes
also, I did only play that like one time, basically.
Because that's all it took for us to just change all of our fucking decks.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It was like I didn't silver bullet by putting it in the 99 to make it show up rarely. I silver bulleted by making it show up rarely by just playing it the one time and then taking
the case
it apart.
in point, though, it's like I'm pretty sure the next deck I built after that was the Prismatic Bridge deck.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, if I can't sack things, I just want free shit then.
You did that to us,
It
Mike.
sucks too, but at least it was new.
But to your point, Mike, you built that Ovika deck, and it was much more inspiring to me to see you do weird shit with that deck to make me be like, oh, this is like a fun way to do things, and I'd rather do that. And I wasn't like mad at you for it.
Right.
But like Yasharn, I was like, mad is
Yasharn
maybe a
was
harsh
just a
word,
dick
but I was mad about Yasharn.
And now I'm not saying I wouldn't sit down with a Yasharn if it's somebody I like or I trust, right?
Yeah.
But it's like,
Oh, I am. I'm saying I wouldn't.
That's not true, Tony. Anyone who listens to the show knows you build salty as fuck decks. That is so not true.
I'll say 3 things came up that I want to point out real quick. I think the silver bullet, calling it a silver bullet thing, it reminds me of Alex Lapper at the EDH Social Construct podcast. They're a podcast that focuses mostly on group hug and stuff. He's got a deck that he calls my silver bullet stacks deck, or my silver bullet deck, where it'll only come out if he's at an LGS. It's like, okay, we're all playing these games. There's one guy who's clearly stepped up the power level the entire time. We're talking like brought like a quasi CDH deck among barely upgraded precons.
Yeah.
And he'll play silver bullet stacks, which is, well, here's my deck. It's meant to just target one person. And he lets that person know, like, hey, games haven't been like the most fun, but we acknowledge that you only have this one deck, or that you don't want to really switch up gears. How about I give you like an extra barrier, an extra something to challenge yourself with? And I think that's like a fair way to present it and a cool thing to do. So that's why I think Yasharn, not the worst thing to do. What I don't like is the idea of somebody being like, how I foiled again? How am I? How will I come back to this table?
You miserable.
And become victorious? I want to win. Like, and just shows up with like a nightmare deck where you're like, well, it's Atraxa Super Friends, but everything's Dovin Bond, and I've ultimated him immediately because I don't want to just play Winter Orb. I want Winter Orb Max. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna build Urza, Lord High Artificer, and I'm gonna ruin your night. Why not?
Yeah.
The sickos that just want people to have a terrible evening.
Intent matters on that one, for sure.
For sure. Well, Mike, we really appreciate you coming in. I think I hear someone else coming down the mine shaft. So, jump back in the kitchen, get back in your makeshift bed that you've made in the space under the sink
I'll
over
come
there.
tuck you in later.
Yep.
I was just about
Michael
to
tuck
ask.
you in.
Yeah, I will.
And take those vitamin D and vitamin E supplements. You are very pale from being in the mine for a whole year. I gotta just
Yeah,
say.
but at least this beard looks sick, huh?
Yeah,
You guys-
you look just like that guy from the fairy tale, dude.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
the one fairy
You know
tale.
the one.
You know the one.
A salt preserved version of that guy from the fairy tale.
Man, it's
I
gonna
think
be
it's
so
Rumpelstiltskin,
funny.
man.
I honestly think it's gonna be so funny if you're just thinking of some sort of like Disney movie, like who just took a
Dude, it's
bubble
fucking
bath
Rip
and
Van
have
Winkle.
like a Rip Van Winkle.
Rip Van Winkle, dude. I got there. That is the guy.
That doesn't tell me anything. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Now I got to do is Googling.
Now we're all Googling.
Everybody
Now we're Googling.
Google old Rip Van Winkle. I'm pretty sure he fell asleep for 100 years. Was the thing.
Rip Van Winkle. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. America's got such rich history, huh? Doesn't it, guys?
Yeah.
the tapestry that's woven of American folklore. It's just
If you like the old guy that fell asleep, you're gonna love the guy that walked around and threw apple seeds everywhere. Ooh,
Wait,
baby.
what was this guy's name?
Oh, Johnny Appleseed.
That sounds like
Amazing.
something a mobster calls him as an insult.
Hey.
That doesn't sound like a real person's name. Hey, Johnny Appleseed over here. What do you think? I'm going around putting seeds everywhere like I'm Johnny Appleseed over there?
I like
He's
that.
I have a name. And we're like, we don't care. And he's walking away crying.
I like that you're like Rip Van Winkle. Yeah, sure, fine.
Yeah.
Johnny Appleseed. Whoa.
Yeah, whoa.
Rip Van Winkle feels like it could be Dutch. All right, Rip Van Winkle feels like a little Dutch boy who fell asleep on a boat and then
Dude,
got dumped
is
on
a
in
Dutch
America.
American.
It is a
man.
Dutch American villager in colonial America. So
Then
you were
why
correct.
don't you keep talking to me like I'm some dumb shit over here? Like I'm not fucking right about everything right now. God damn it. Nobody could tell me nothing tonight. I'll tell you that much, baby. I'm on fucking fire.
Oh man.
All right, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go see what the sun's all about without burning my eyes.
Good
Oof,
call.
All right. Well, be careful out there.
I am gonna take a nap first, though. Mike, when you're
Yeah,
ready, please
brief
just
one,
come on
brief
down.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Good call.
give me a little tech.
We'll sing
Good
you to
call.
sleep too, like we normally do. Well, thanks, Mike.
Thank you. All right, bye bye. I send kisses.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Silent for 20
Oh,
minutes.
man. Yeah,
Drops
silent for
some
20
wah,
minutes
wah,
comes in
wah.
for with a kiss. Man, I love Mike. What a guy. He's always great to have on
Yeah.
the show. I hope he has a good nap.
Yep, a good rest.
Well, I mean, I hope he stops eating the food. We're gonna have to keep restocking.
You know, I don't even care. He can have snacks. Corporate's paying for him. I think that's okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's mostly salt and pistachios. So, like,
Yeah,
true.
you know,
Basically a complete diet, nutritional, well-balanced kind of meal plan.
his beard was very long, though, and he did look very pale from lack of sunlight for being in the mine for a whole calendar year. So I'm a little
I
worried
think that's
about that.
okay. I actually already I didn't want to tell him about it, but I actually already had a plan solved for that. I'm just gonna drill a big deep hole straight from like the outside of the mine right in to the kitchen,
Oh, nice.
and it'll
yeah.
just be like a skylight,
I mean,
so
like
he can
a
get just
sunroof,
like a
basically.
good shaft beam of sunlight like once 2 times a year.
Nice. Yeah.
Interesting. I was gonna go for the gaping hole, but you went for the shaft, so I'm
Yeah,
fine
he
with
can
it.
just get grilled by that sunny shaft.
Well,
every
it's
day.
not gaping because the kitchen's pretty deep, so it's just really just this long tube. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would have called it a gaping hole if I planned on it gaping.
Yeah, Tony. I
But
mean,
I
this
don't
is
plan
mining.
on that.
This is mining 101. You need to know the difference between a gaping hole and a sunny shaft. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
My bad. My bad.
Well, I mean, I don't know if that solves our door problem, though. Hopefully, no one else has gotten in, but I guess
Well, it's
we'll
solved. Mike said it was shut, so
It's
it must be
shut. There's no
Is it
problem
shut?
at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just like, I'm a little thrown by seeing other people in the mine here. I feel like our security is bad.
I think it's pretty good.
Is Mike's title head of security because
Yeah,
I'm
it's
getting
chief- Chief of security. But it's spelled wrong though.
Yeah, obviously.
It says chef of security.
Yeah. That's why I'm spending a lot of time in the kitchen, even though it's not actually helpful for the role.
I mean, honestly, that's on us for not defining the role. Like, you can only succeed as much as what we've put out.
Yeah,
so
this is true.
It's true.
You know,
very true.
I appreciate that. Guys, I think I hear someone coming down the mine. Oh, shit. Joe Johnson.
Oh, hello.
Joe,
Dude.
welcome, dude. Welcome back to the mines, man.
It's been a long time.
In a while.
It's
been a while.
Been a while.
It's been a while.
That's exactly how that song goes. That's
It really
actually.
Can't tell me otherwise. That's exactly.
We can just put the karaoke track under that, and it's like we've got a song of the week right there.
Yeah, man, it has been a really long time. So we are at episode 100. You happen to wander in on an auspicious day.
Sam was definitely trying to do math in his head for a second there, and then was like, actually, it's just been a while.
I literally was trying to do math, and I was like, I'm not up to the challenge.
We play Magic all the time. We can't do math. Like
Yeah.
we are faking it, y'all. We don't know how to do. I don't know how to play this game.
I can. We're just barely making it through.
I'm barely fucking make like content creators. Like we're just like we're faking the funk. Fake it till you make it.
Exactly.
And then when you do make it, you still have to fake it because you're just like, wait, what? I have to do. What?
You just have to fake it even more.
I have to count.
Counting is why I play CDH. You just play Thassa's Oracle. It says win the game on it, and
That's
then you
it.
don't. There's no numbers
There's
involved.
no counting.
Not a
Someone
drop.
had to tell you, like, hey, you got that win right there. You're like, oh, sweet. All right, cool. Document it.
then I do that.
I'll do that thing every time, and then no one can question if I won or not because I know I won. Someone told me. Judge.
Yeah, Joe, it's been forever, man. You were one of our first major guests back on episode 14, and that was in September of 2022, dude.
Wow, holy shit. How time flies.
I know.
How the turntables.
It's crazy, man. It's
That's
crazy.
No, congrats to y'all for like
thanks, man.
it out. And like I think that it's such a hard thing to be consistent on a podcast and to keep bringing content, keep bringing, like, you guys consistently do it. You show up at events, you fucking rock.
Thanks,
I fucking
man.
love you guys. Like,
oh man, thank you.
Together, the shit. So, congrats to y'all. You
Thanks,
fucking
man.
deserve it.
That, dude.
Here's your fucking flowers. Everybody give them fucking flowers. If you don't, I'm gonna show up at your house. The known thug will show up at your house.
The known thug. Oh my god. Love that, man. So what have you been up to since you how are things going with Tabletop Jocks? Still ripping?
Great. We're still doing it, still doing the thing. I got a studio space now that I'm doing.
No way.
Yeah.
Sick, dude.
Yeah. I'm gonna be
Dude,
shooting in
that's
that next
sick.
month. Oh shit, in about 2 weeks.
Whoa.
So maybe by the time this comes out, maybe one of the episodes will be out. I don't fucking know.
That's amazing.
That's wild.
So yeah, upgrades.
That's a big
sick.
upgrade.
I'm staring at this fucking Drance Magistrate. Like, I don't know if you can see it. I don't know why it's blurred, but yeah, I'm staring at this fucking cop. It's like right in my face.
Well, that's a pretty good transition to asking you. I mean, it's been so long. What's been making you salty lately, man? Let's check in with the salt, you know?
People that don't know how to fucking read the room.
Tell us about that.
Like, fuck the rule zero conversation. Read the fucking room. Like, don't play the thing if you know the thing is going to piss everybody off. Just be social and, like, it's the fucking gathering. That's the other part of it. It's not just the magic part. I mean, yeah, I was playing a game of Secret Partners, which if this individual ever watches this, he will know exactly who he is. I play Secret Partners. It is a variant of Commander where you have 5 or more people sitting at the same table.
Yep.
2 people are face up. Everyone else is face down. So the 2 people that are face up, they know that they're opposing each other.
Okay.
And everyone else is like a secret partner. So they have to play their roles. And there's one lone wolf. And the lone wolf's objective is to kill everyone at the table.
Last man standing.
Yeah. And if the face-up partner dies, his partner can still win the game by killing everyone else.
Okay.
So I had a partner, and this is the same fucker And every time we play Secret Partners, he's like, "Oh, I don't think you want to play Secret Partners with me." I'm like, "No shit, Sherlock. God damn it. You fucking suck at this. You're so bad. You're so bad at reading the fucking room. Like, stop doing shit that's going to fucking kill people on like turn 3. We're playing Secret Partners. It's about politics and having fun, you fuck."
Yeah, the turn 3 win.
Yeah, is he bringing like a combo deck to the Secret
Yes,
Partners
every
game?
fucking time. Every time. And we all yell at him. And we're like, "Dude, stop. Leave the fucking room. Is it that hard?" And apparently, yes, it is. Is that fucking hard? I'm sorry, I'm going off on a rant, but like,
No, but that's
so
why
good.
we're
is it
here,
that
man.
hard for him to read the fucking room? It's not hard, people. You look around, you see annoyed faces. Stop doing what you're doing,
Oh man,
especially if we're all friends. God damn it.
That's amazing.
That's
At that
so
point, someone's
true.
just got to be like, "Dude, you're playing this tonight. This
Yeah,
is what
here's
you're
this
on."
deck. Play this.
Hand
And
him a
it's all
deck,
vanilla
exactly.
creatures.
It's just like the one red creature that just like 99 red lands and like that.
Yeah,
Like, here you go.
Ashling the Pilgrim and 99
There
Mountains.
we go. There we go. You're playing Ashland tonight. You got no interaction. You're just playing fucking mono red. You sit there and you blow shit up. Who cares? Whatever. God damn it. Yeah.
Oh,
So
man.
that's what's grinding my goddamn gears. People not reading the room.
I hate to admit it, man. I feel like I've been that guy before.
I was gonna say I can think of a time or
Yeah.
two.
Yeah.
I feel so guilty. I'm like, oh shit, I think I've been that guy a couple times.
I remember one time Sam was that guy, and then he showed me to be like, "Look, but I'm not playing it.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
I'm
Oh,
being a
man.
good boy." And then
Okay.
like one turn later, he played it.
No,
Oh, shit.
It was like a few turns later. So basically, I was in a 5-player game, right? Like we're hanging out at the LGS. I'm in a 5-player game. I'm playing with Alan from Mental Misplay, Mia and
shout out
Beezy
to Alan.
from Nitpicking Nerds are there,
Hey,
and then
yes, let's go.
our buddy Emmett is there. So we're like, okay, we got 5 people. Let's play 5-player. And we're like, let's do high power. And I'm like, cool. I have this like Gave deck, Guru of the Spores. It's got a lot of combos in it. And they're like, yeah, that's fine. Like, who cares? I'm like, sweet. And I got a turn like 2 win in my hand with Walking Ballista, Devoted Druid, and Swift Reconfiguration. So just make infinite mana and blast the table.
Right. Yeah,
And I was like, you know what? If I play this turn 2, they are just gonna play a 4-player game without me.
Yep. I'm like, okay, you won. Now let's move on.
Exactly. They will just have a normal game of Magic after I do that. And I was like, all right, I'll hold off. And then I held off. And of course, like they all just started doing ridiculous shit. And I was like, oh my God, okay, well now I have to actually try to win. And I dropped the combo and it just gets interacted with. And I'm like, well, fuck, man, like my sweet combo. So it just all blew up in my face. And, you know, it ended up being a fine game. But I don't know. You're right. You got to read the room sometimes. You really do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at that point, it's like you told them rule 0, you have a lot of combos.
Yeah.
So they know what they're playing against. You're playing fucking is it Gave or Gave? I don't know what
it's Gave. It's Gave. You got it right.
It is canonically Gave, but I hate that, man. It's like it's like Dave isn't like an interesting fantasy name. Like you just put a G on Dave.
Yeah. The H is silent. No, I want to say Gave.
Yeah.
Like white. White. You want to say what?
Gave.
Hey.
No, I get it. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Dude, I feel like that also happens a lot on streams. Like people will be streaming on Twitch and you see like an EDH pod playing. And sometimes people do not read the room with a stream and they drop some like super punishing effect. And it's like, this is kind of meant to be entertainment for the people right now. You know, like you're really making all of us have a miserable like 2-hour game right now. And I don't know if people are going to want to watch this shit.
I get every fucking time when like there's like 10 fucking board wipes. I'm like, just don't board wipe. Don't play Farewell. Fuck that card when it comes out several times. Stop it. Stop playing Farewell. It sucks. It's so boring because now we have to sit back up and we have to rebuild from nothing and everyone's top decking.
Yeah.
Fucking stop playing farewell.
Yeah, I think there's about a once a year farewell tolerance.
That's
like
it.
I'll take it. Every once in a while, yeah, farewell.
It's
You're
like
right.
it's like when you go to the buffet and you eat way too much and you're like, that was my one.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this again because if I do, I have a fucking heart attack. So you got one farewell. That's it. The whole year.
Dude, farewell really should have just said like pick 2 modes, right? Like up to 2, right? Like the
It's
fact
like
that it says
Command.
all of them, it's like, come on.
All the modes,
All the modes,
everything. You
have
can
to do that?
exile all of them,
Yeah, it's like...
and your graveyard. Fuck you. Like I'm scooping. I'm going to another table because this is going to take 2 more hours.
Yeah, it's a win con at that point.
See, the problem is Mike is saying he'll run one because he's the one playing it.
Yeah. Mike is the board wiper.
I don't own a farewell, so you don't have to worry about it.
Damn, the allegations will not be sticking with the farewell. Holy shit. Oh man, I love that stuff.
Board wipes in general need to come back.
What?
Whoa, this is a flip flop here.
Need to come back?
I think they need to come back.
Come back so we can hate them out again. I got you.
Yes.
I understand. Now.
Yes, and then counter the fuck out of them. Something for the counter, something for the control mage to deal with. Like,
give the blue player something to do.
Board wipe. Yeah. Just sit over there and just handle that board wipe. No, but I also think people need to play more creatures.
Yeah,
I think people need to play be more aggressive. If that Llanowar elf is out on turn 1 and everyone doesn't have a creature, fucking swing and don't roll for it. Oh, that makes me so angry when people are like, "Oh, let me roll for damage." No, fucking commit to the bit. Do it. Fucking take first blood. Rambo that shit up.
I love consistency, and you definitely brought this up the last time you were on.
You totally did.
Roll.
Yeah,
fucking just do it.
Just
that's
rip
amazing,
it.
dude. Yeah, it's true, man. I do that way less because you have said that before.
1000%.
And it's so in my head. I'm like, Joe would be disappointed in me if I rolled this die.
I would just I'd be hovering over that. It's like a Jesus meme. It's just
I'm like, what would Joe do?
Do it, coward. Win.
Leave space for Joe Johnson between you and that die.
Just hovering over you, just over your shoulder. Do it, coward.
Yeah, man.
You won't.
Let's commit.
Like the spirit of Goku in my ear, dude, just being like, just fucking do it.
Just fucking do
Get him
it.
with your command, man. Like, all right, I got you.
Here's the thing. You're going to get to that point where you're going to be like, fuck, they're at 2 life. And you're going to be like, well,
what if I hit him?
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. And now they got a fucking goddamn pillow for it.
Also, if someone attacks me with a 14-14 and they rolled it randomly, I'm still going to be fucking mad about that. It doesn't take away the sting of the decision. I still took a lot of damage.
Although I will say this. I feel like people get salty at people swinging at them and they take it offense, but they don't get salty at a combo that goes off. I mean, sometimes.
Yeah.
But because a combo is okay, cool, I win. As opposed to I'm going to take your life total and take it to this much. I don't understand the mentality of that. It just seems something like that just seems so weird to me. Even when commanders have I do this trigger and I'm gonna hit you in the face, or a Terror of the Peaks or something like that, and I'll hit you in the face. Why is it that a Terror of the Peaks trigger to the face feels less worse than someone swinging at you with an Eldrazi? Even if it doesn't have Annihilator, it's just a fucking 15-15 and coming at you, barreling down. And you're like, oh, now I'm triggered. You've activated my trap card, motherfucker. I'm gonna target you for the rest of the game. And then the next game too, if I die. Start making kamikaze plays. You're just fuck it. I'm just gonna fucking do all this bullshit and take my life total away just so I can fuck you over and spite you. I don't understand. What is it about swinging that makes people so upset, as opposed to getting hit with direct damage or a combo or or milling. I think that's the only other thing that upsets people more.
Oh, milling, dude. Yeah.
Milling,
Dude, milling really gets to people.
Like,
it gets to
grinds
people.
my goddamn gears.
It gets to
really
people,
gets to
dude.
people.
That fucking artifact that you have to untap and you have to mill that.
Oh,
mini.
dude, yeah.
Oh, dude.
That card.
Mesmeric
Oh,
orb.
Yeah,
dude.
Mesmeric orb fucking
Mesmeric orb,
sucks.
dude.
I'm gonna buy all the mesmeric orbs in the world and I'm gonna fucking burn them in a fucking
No,
fire.
you are not. You're not buying the ones I have, dude. Not
It doesn't matter
selling.
because they're gonna proxy it, but I'm gonna buy them all so they're all so rare and they all cost so much. You want to play your mesmeric orb? It costs $500 now. Fuck it, Trebek. Rest in peace.
Yeah, it's like there's something psychological about it, man. We were talking about this in an episode maybe a couple months ago, where there's something that goes on in my head where, like, if I cast a creature and somebody counters it, that gets me way more salty than if I cast it and they immediately hit it with a Swords to Plowshares.
Yeah.
For some reason, the spell resolving and hitting the battlefield just makes me feel better before I lose it.
Yeah.
But if it never gets to hit the battlefield, I'm like, well, that's fucking bullshit.
It's the same thing. It's a removal spell. It's essentially the removal spell, but like,
yeah,
someone
it's the
telling
same.
you no is worse than someone saying, okay, I got to deal with that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I
I think
mean?
that's it. It's just like the
Yeah.
pure denial versus, like, I don't know. You feel like you have a chance if it hits the board.
Right.
Yeah, and also fuck blue, right?
Honestly, you know what? Not even. My stance on this is fuck control players who don't know how to play control.
Mm.
Like,
Yes.
you're going to counter a thing and then immediately someone else combos off and you're like, where's your counter at now?
Yeah.
You're going to counter that too? And they're like, oh, well, I used my counter spell on the thing that wasn't even affecting me. Yeah, shut the fuck up. Okay, now let's go to the next game. Play control better. Just play control better.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I think that, like, counter spells burn a hole in some players' pockets. You know what I mean? Like, you've held the
like,
mana
I gotta-
up, you've passed the turn, you're waiting for something to come down that's worthy of a counter. And I think sometimes people feel like if they don't counter something in that situation, then they've lost out on some kind of value because they haven't spent the resource. So it's just kind of this,
Reading
like,
the fucking
I gotta
room.
do it.
You gotta read the fucking room. Reading the card explains the card. If it doesn't say I win the game, then don't fucking counter it. As simple as that. If it doesn't affect you, like, control players, hear me out. Hear me out, motherfuckers.
I'm listening.
It doesn't affect you and it doesn't affect your board and they don't win the game, don't counter the spell. God damn it. Unless it's like cutting your, like, resource off of, like, the fucking 3 fairy that's like you can only play spells in your turn or some shit like that. Yeah, counter that.
Yeah, because it sort of wins the game eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But, like, if it's just a really cool spell and someone taps the fuck out and they go, all right, I'm gonna play this big spell. All right, cool. Play it. And they're like, really? Like, yeah. And then the next person goes, all right, cool. I'm going to combo off and win the game. No, you're not. Cool. Counter spell. Play control. More you know. It's been too long.
It
It's
really
been
has.
so long,
this
dude.
is a year and a half worth of built up salt right here, man. This is great.
Just hold it in, just in my chest.
Joe, thanks for wandering back through the salt mine with us, man.
Hell yeah, dude.
You know, sometimes we joke that whenever we have a guest, it's like salt therapy for other content creators. They get to come on and really vent in a way that other shows don't allow them to. So,
Right? It's like you can't be this unhinged on anything else.
It's sort of the point.
I know it's honestly, and it's such a good space. And thank you guys for creating this and,
oh, thanks, man.
and following through and being such fucking pros at it. Like, this is it's so much fun, and I can't wait to fucking hang out and meet up with y'all. But anyway, thank y'all for having me.
We super appreciate it. Always
Hell
a great
yeah,
time
dude.
having you in the
Yeah.
salt mine.
Always good times.
Hell yeah, man. Oh shit, man. I forgot to remind Joe to really close that door behind him. Oh well. Surely it's not gonna cause any issues, you know?
I'll go check. I'll go check.
Nice. Slay.
Trump.
Chomp, chomp, chomp.
Trump.
Oh, Trump.
I'm sort of
Trumping.
trudging away. I'm onomatopoeia tromping my way away.
Was the door all good, Mike? I see that you've returned now.
Oh yeah, dude. You're gonna see it at some point. I'm sure you're gonna like it. I really set it up. No one's gonna be bothering us.
Nice, dude. This is why you're the chef of security.
Yeah.
Thought it was chef security officer, actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
The formal title,
Damn. A
Bring it
promotion.
bring it
That's
home.
that's
Yep.
wild.
I have been a little confused why you guys haven't been answering my questions with yes, chef, but that's, I guess, we'll get there soon, I
Yeah,
suppose.
something to hash
Yeah.
out. It maybe by episode 200. I think we'll have
Yeah,
that
yeah,
really
yeah.
figured
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
You know,
we'll have
I'll
that
keep
shit
working
on
on
lock
that.
for
yeah,
sure.
you'll have that locked down. Have you guys noticed this giant crack next to us?
I was gonna say, I think it's leaking or eeping.
Yeah, I
Wow.
mean, it's always had a certain slime to it, but I agree. I think it seems like there's like slightly more liquid coming through than normal.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fucking fine though.
What kind of liquid? Lick it.
No. No, I'm not going to be licking random mine slime.
We have to know what it is, Mike.
I don't know that would tell you what it is.
Yeah, I'm
If
not
I-
sure
if I thought it would, I'd maybe help.
I'm not sure if it would tell you what it
Where's
is.
your fucking sense of adventure? This is bullshit.
I mean, we're already in a dangerous mine, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like the
Msha would
sense of
not
adventure
approve.
is- Yeah, Imsha would not appreciate that.
Msha.
Oh, shit. Oh, footsteps. Footsteps. Oh, my God. Tyler? Tyler from Play to Win?
Oh shit.
Oh, hi.
what
Welcome.
brings you to the mine? Did you just wander into, you just found like a abandoned mine and walked right in?
Oh yeah, I'm a big spelunker. Just
Yeah.
my all-time favorite.
Yeah, we know that about
I
you.
haven't met a cavern I didn't like.
You do love the spelunk.
Man, talk about tangents. Have you guys ever like watched spelunking videos on YouTube? Guys, like that's some crazy shit.
Oh, you mean when they
Yeah.
like squeeze themselves between like really tight cracks?
Yep.
Yeah, I do
Yes.
it all the time. It's fucking sweet.
Doing it right now. Look, Tyler actually
Right
came
now.
in through a crack. Like not even through the mine.
It's fucking like out of the wall. Like what
Yeah.
the fuck?
Squeezed out. Oh, hey guys.
Oh,
You guys have a
shit.
mine?
Covered in spiders, like moist all over. Yeah.
Dude, I low key love, actually, you know what? High key. I fucking love those videos. There's something about watching somebody squeezing through a tiny, tiny space in like the pitch blackness of the deep earth while I'm just sitting on my couch eating like Takis that I'm just like, man, life is pretty good.
I feel like I didn't know I could be
Yeah.
triggered so much.
I mean, you have it harder because Takis are pretty spicy for snack food.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
That's true.
it's true. Going into a cave seems pretty arduous on the body, but so is passing a whole bag of Takis the next day. So
I've done it.
Oh my
I love
God.
Taki. I know. I can't.
it fucks up my guts, man.
They're so red too. Like they're so red.
They're so
They're
so
so
unnaturally red.
It's a very red snack.
Man.
I just know I'm eating so much dye. Like it's not a good thing to be putting in my body.
I think it's so impressive how quickly we can just like completely go off the rail.
Man, it was you. That was you. That was you who did that,
Well,
Tony.
Not only are Takis so spicy, but they're also somewhat salty.
Oh
Uh,
shit. Bringing us
yeah,
back.
Yeah, we did it.
Well, speaking of salt, Tyler, it's been so long since we've seen you. The last time we had you on was episode 62 back in August 2023. What's been making you salty lately? Give us a little bit of an update. Are you still feeling salty about things going wrong in tournaments, or are you on to a new chapter in your life these days?
I don't know. I gotta say broadly, I've had just so much fun in CEDH lately. It's actually messing up my appetite for casual, so that's not ideal.
Sam and I had a very similar conversation to this the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true.
My roommate and I are talking like every Thursday we play casual, and like I really don't want to. I'd rather just play more CEDH every single time. But I mean, there's always something, right? And what I've been thinking a lot about lately, because I think it genuinely does need to be discussed more, is like the amount of turn equity and actual round timer that people can get away with stealing by just talking over every single person's turn and go completely unchallenged because like table talk is allowed. It's just like, it's starting to get to me because like it's hard to make a polite comment about it to let them know that they should be examining their behavior to begin with. And then the amount of times that people were like, whoa, what do you mean? Like, we're just talking. I'm just talking. It's like, you've been talking for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And like, I don't want to draw. Like, it's like,
Yeah, as fair of a thing as it is to say like, hey, let's stop and talk about this for a second. It's equally fair to say, no, this is the time to start taking game actions.
Yeah, but if you're the only one that says no, it's like, what do you do?
Yeah, you're just fucked.
And you don't have like control of the game at that point. Yeah, it's pretty tough.
Yeah.
It's also hard because it's not necessarily slow play. Like I encountered this kind of recently where I had two opponents that were talking a lot in a CDH match. And it wasn't exactly slow play because they're talking about the board state and game actions, but they're just talking about it incessantly. I'm like, you got to come to a decision. You know what I mean? But if they were nonverbal, taking up the same amount of time, it would be an easy slow play dunk. Just like, hey, judge, make this person play faster. But when they're talking, it's almost like the illusion of game actions or something like that.
Yeah.
And that is super frustrating.
Have you guys ever like called over a judge and been like, judge, slow play? Has that like happened like in actuality? Because I feel like we meme about it 24/7, but like have you guys ever actually done that in a game?
No, I've never had to go beyond saying to a person like, hey, I know you're thinking hard, but I need you to take a game action because I don't want to call a judge about it because I know you're doing this in good faith. And that's almost always enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've done that. I've also done the like, okay, I've noticed it's taking a while. I'm going to look at the clock, see how much time there is, and like set some arbitrary amount, like 30 seconds or something. And if they're still tanked at that point, like I'll say something. And usually as soon as I set like some amount that I'm like, okay, I'm going to say something at this point. I don't have to,
You know what like fucking Etsy product we need? We need like the arena rope, but just like in fucking bright neon colors, like that burns down from both sides, and you just place it in front of your opponent and be like, you don't have any extensions. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Can you imagine coming into a CDH tournament with like a shitload of ropes just slung over your sleeves and you like throw it down on the table, light a match and light it on fire.
And then trying to explain that because it finished burning, they actually passed their turn. They don't get to take any more actions.
Yeah, I think at that point you wouldn't even have to call a judge about the slow play. They just come over of their own accord. Like,
I wonder
why are you setting fire to the fucking venue?
Just neoprene mats smoldering everywhere. Oh god! All inhaling poisonous gases right now. Oh
like
man,
that vibe. Like that vibe.
So yeah, you heard it here first on Howling Salt Mine. That's how you deal with opponents who are slow playing. You just immolate them.
Bring your own rope. Bring your own rope. Even just being like, 15 minutes left in the round. Like that gets people out of it and gets them moving again.
Yeah.
But I did have this situation where two players were arguing and I had to basically be like, you guys have different perspectives on this. I don't think we need to talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
Please take game actions now. And thankfully they stopped, but it was a weird situation.
Yeah, people can get in a mentality of like the only way to move forward right now is for us to agree on what the right decision is. And that's not the way to move forward. The way to move forward is by whoever has priority passing or putting something on the stack. People forget about that. And the other thing I like doing is just being like, who has priority again? And then you got to do something. You can always kind of redirect it to like where the game is right now. The game is on this person's priority. It's a binary decision. Pass or put something on the stack. Like that's all you get to do at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, people definitely get caught up in that like convincing where they just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And that can be super, super frustrating.
To be fair, it's also really helpful to learn the vocabulary to tell people to stop pushing you. Like, hey, I understand where you're coming from, but like I've made a decision and I'm gonna do this. Because some people will try and just wear you down and like you cannot put up with that.
Yeah. There is a bit of fuzziness, even in tournaments, with like whether or not something has been put on the stack and like declared, which I don't love. Like but people will be like, I'm going to cast this. And then someone at the table will be like, well, what if, like, wait, you should. And if two people are like, yeah, that's fine, then it gets pretty awkward. And then you have that whole round of like, is that the right decision or not that everybody has to talk about? Like, I've definitely seen that happen.
But I will say though, it's definitely like missed triggers where like if I'm positive I'm losing this game and someone's like dragging things out and taking too long, I'm like, I didn't see anything. Like, I don't know if it's slow play. Like, like, go right ahead.
Yeah, you won't do it. You won't quite.
I won't do it, but I will not comment on someone else doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely
situational assault,
I really liked what you said about like taking up I forget how you phrased it, like taking a bunch of time out of other people's turns, because I think that is something that drives a lot of salt and casual play too. And honestly, in CDH, if you're on like a Thrasios Seedborn Muse deck or something, like any one of those decks that just wants to like kind of twiddle and spin their gears and figure out what's going on other people's turns, and on every single end step they have actions to take. Lately, that's been really bugging me with like which I'm super guilty of building and playing a shit ton of decks that are like this. So keep that in mind with what I'm about to say.
It's really been bugging me that everyone else is like me. Like,
yeah, it's been bugging me that people are complaining when I do that. It's like, come on, man, you should build a better deck. No, but it's been bugging me that like that's something that I think a lot of frustration and salt comes from, but like people don't pin exactly what that thing is, and they say like, oh well, Thrasios is fucking stupid. It's like, is Thrasios stupid, or is it that I take 2 minutes at the end of every single person's turn that's really frustrating? You know what I mean? And I think that there's a lot of these like Rube Goldberg-y kind of decks that want to, especially Seedborn Muse decks, Drumbeller, all those types of untapped shit, where you're just like, I have game actions that I need to take on everybody's turn, and I'm going to take more time up on your turn than you took on your turn.
Yeah. I think it's a particularly interesting discussion right now with like MTGO starting to get more support for like competitive. Tyler, I don't know if you've played online at all.
I used to play MTGO like way back, and to be honest, I like never got the hang of all the shortcuts, and I find the interface like so fucking clunky that I would rather just play paper. So I mostly refuse. I'm sure I still have an account floating out there somewhere where I won like, you know, some Amonkhet drafts and then never touched it again. But like,
it's gaining traction for CDH.
Yeah, because they've launched like leagues basically, and the ability to play it for prize support. But it's interesting because it almost has the flip problem to some extent. Like they have chess clocks in it, and since you always need to give people those opportunities to pass priority and interact kind of at any point, they can't really do demonstrating a loop very easily. So certain decks potentially like are just abusable because they can't finish the game in like the time it would take to run out their chess clock. Like tie-am loops are like loops that they're deterministic. They're just slow to execute. They're click intensive to execute. It's almost the flip side where like people are unable to in MTGO like yap away priority. Like it's always clear who the priority is on, but it ends up with that same thing where like the game can be messed up because of the timing.
There are many times where I'm playing EDH and I wish that there was like the equivalent of a 4-person chess clock present. And whenever someone is taking game actions on your turn, you click it to their time. You know what I mean? Like I used to play competitive miniature games like Warhammer. I played this game called War Machine. I've talked about it a bunch of times on the show. And we played with chess clocks. We called them death clocks because if you ran out of time, you were just fucking dead. We would have like either round clocks or like full game clocks, like your full game time is on a single clock. And whenever somebody was talking on your turn, or if they had the rare instance of taking a game action on your turn, you'd flip the clock to them and they would take that time. But it's a harder thing to execute, not only in like 4-person EDH or any 4-person game, because, you know, it's just a more complicated system that you need in place, but also like the amount of table talk and the amount of game actions. Like there's so many things that can potentially steal time from your turn that I think it would kind of be like an overall negative, because people would get really, I don't know, I feel like people just get super whiny if you were talking a lot on their turn. You were like, wait, you're talking too much, let me flip it. And then they'd be like, oh no, I'm done. I don't even need to talk anymore. Don't flip it, you know?
Yeah.
It would be a challenging thing to really execute.
Yeah, there's so many practical problems with the chess clock thing. Like I, try to think through that many times. Not least because I play a ton of speed chess, and I love that there's a clock.
Yeah. I almost think it's more like an opportunity for like a shot clock, like in basketball. Like it's not necessarily that like everyone needs to be tracking their own time the same amount. It's that there like needs to be almost a max duration before there needs to be another game action. Like, okay, the game has to progress at some point. Like we have to do something. So it's almost more of that instinct of like, okay, at a certain point, it just passes by default.
That works to keep the game moving, but that leaves you with the same problem where if you have like 1 or 2 people who just take up all of the talking time,
then
Yeah.
Piss everyone else off.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's like a bookkeeping exercise too. Like who's pressing the button, who's keeping track of that shit. You know what I mean?
I can barely press the space bar in what is
Bell
fucking
table.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't.
Let alone
Exactly.
track the time of my turn.
Exactly. Who presses the space bar on spell table?
Dude, that makes me salty when people are like, "Can you press the space bar?" I'm like, just fucking
Dude,
pay
fucking
attention to the
same.
game,
I'm like,
man.
Like, you don't
Yeah.
fucking know.
Come
Like,
on.
it's your turn. It's my turn.
Yeah,
Like,
you don't know if it's your turn if I didn't press
Yeah,
the
like,
space
come
bar.
on.
I said it, man. That bugs me. Well, thanks, Tyler. We appreciate you seeping through the cracks of the wall.
The continuation of that crack is down there, and we have some backup lanterns and stuff for you. Also,
Yeah.
if you need a battery refill.
Sweet.
Yeah, we definitely have some water for your canteen and batteries for your headlamp.
I appreciate it. I do not need any of that. I'm just going to scuttle back into the wall and hide among the spiders.
Nice, yeah. Just no protective gear at all. You're just
Nah,
going.
fuck it, man.
Wow.
I'm greased up and naked.
You know,
I guess the
I wasn't
listener
gonna say
didn't know
anything,
that.
but
yeah,
it
the
is
listener
true.
didn't know that until right now. But
Yeah.
Your life.
I mean, they told me to. I didn't think it was weird. Was it weird?
And what's your favorite brand of grease for caving?
Boy butter. Duh.
Oh man. Well, thanks, Tyler.
Thank you,
Yeah.
guys.
Appreciate you coming through in our 100th episode.
Oh my God. Congratulations to all of you. I love your show sincerely, and I'm sure there will be 100 more.
Oh, thanks,
Yeah,
man.
yes,
we
dude.
certainly
Thanks.
hope so. We'll see. We'll see how long we stand each other. Well, it was nice to have Tyler come in. I do have some concerns. You know, he came in through a crack and he seeped down through another crack with his oiled up nudity. I do have some concerns about the internal security of the mine. I mean, it's kind of a coincidence that we're really getting the security system here put through the paces today. I did not expect that to happen.
yeah, don't worry though. The front is set. There's no way anyone's getting in there. I definitely closed the door.
Nice.
And I put up this big sign that says men's so that they know there's some men's recording in here, you know?
It says men's.
Yeah, it says men's right on the front. And I put a figure of a little guy walking as well.
Huh. That's
Like a little stick figure.
okay. I feel
So
like
people kind of
sometimes,
know.
yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like that signage is typically used for like a bathroom, but I mean, that's probably fine.
Oh, I really hadn't thought of that at all. But
I do see right now that you peeled the sign off of the door of the bathroom that we have here in the mine. Is that where perhaps you got the sign from?
I repurposed that for like an alternate use. Yeah. I
Now
did do
that is how a fucking chef security officer speaks.
Yeah. Look, our last chef of
Repurposing what we
security,
got.
lot of unnecessary expenditure. I'm
Yeah.
all for cost efficient solutions.
That is true.
So
Yes, chef.
yes, chef. There it is. It's already paying off.
Paying those dividends, baby.
There are some
Who the fuck is
footsteps
that?
coming down.
Do you see that? Do you hear that?
Guys, hey, is anybody? Can y'all hear me?
I think
Yeah.
I do.
Is that
I think
Ken?
I hear you
Oh,
right now.
Oh
Is that
shit!
Ken Bauman?
Hey guys, look, it'd be sick to catch up. Do you have a restroom available? I need to take a shit horrendously right now. Can I do that? Or is that? Do y'all have? I don't know what mine restrooms are like, but do you have something kind of well appointed for me?
They're better than con restrooms. I can tell you that much. Like,
Yes.
Okay, look, my standards are not that high, so I'm gonna go relieve myself, and then I'll be back in just a few minutes. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler just squirmed through that hole in the wall. He probably won't be back for a while. You could use that.
Okay. I mean, but if I don't want it to catch up with him, I don't have any promises about the liquidity or the solidity of what I'm going to get up to.
no.
He spelunks very fast. So
Yeah.
Okay, good.
He was already oiled up too.
yeah,
So
yeah,
he'll be fine.
he's
Okay.
naked and greased up, so nothing's going to be touching his skin. So, don't even
Yeah.
worry about that.
In that case, you give me like 30 to 45 seconds and it's over with, so we can get it done real quick.
Okay, sweet.
Insert mind flushing noise here.
oh,
Yes,
God.
good. Yes,
Oh,
yes.
wow.
And a sigh of relief, like, oh,
Man.
thank you. God, sorry about that, guys. I feel lighter. My spirit is lighter. I feel good. Thank you.
Oh, that's great. Well, yeah, you. I mean, I don't want to be disparaging, but you did that in a really weird way.
Thank you.
I've never seen someone do it like that.
I appreciate that. I mean, it's, you have, when you're diseased, you got lots of practice time. And so I like to change up the style. You just got to change up your style on the court sometimes and see how the new shot feels.
Hey, some people skateboard regular style. Some people are goofy footed. You know what I mean?
That's right.
This is the first time I've ever met a goofy poor.
Yeah, I'm a switch, I'll shit however the mood strikes me,
What is happening?
we're yes-anding,
so
Tony.
Rare. It's
Tony,
so
take note. We're
rare
yes-anding.
that I am the one that says, where are we?
Yeah, good.
That tries to bring us back in.
Well, Ken, I'm glad that happenstance directed you towards our mine.
Oh, yeah.
It does stink like shit in here now.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
Thank you. Well, I mean, it's okay. Just give it time. It'll pass. I feel like every mine is not without its toxic fumes. You know what I mean? Like the earth is speaking.
For sure.
So I'm just the Earth's conduit.
Earth is speaking. I'm going to say that next time I really blow up a bathroom. I'm going to walk out and say, Earth is speaking.
It's sort of the follow of Mother Nature calls. Now,
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Your tummy rumbles. Ooh, Earth is speaking. Oh, man. Well, Ken, it's good to see you, man. It's been so long.
It's been a little while.
You've stumbled in on our 100th episode that we were in the middle of recording.
It's pretty auspicious. I'm very glad to have timed my bowel movement correctly. I'm excited to see what you all are getting up to on this big one hundo.
We mostly intended to just hang out and chill, but people just keep coming in here, and we're too polite to ask them to leave immediately.
Yeah. Are y'all soliciting some salt? Are y'all in the business of soliciting salt at the moment?
Oh, hell yeah. Ken, it has been a while since we've checked in with you. I will say you were on our 66th episode.
Holy shit.
Back in September of 2023. So it has been a good long while.
It's been a hot second.
So what's been getting you salty lately? Are you still feeling salty, or have you transcended those emotions?
No, last time I remember talking about, I tried to transcend them and I was leaning into the salt a little bit more. And I think y'all's encouragement has helped me really feel, healthier, feel more sane in the salt. Salt is a preservative, I feel like it keeps you alive and,
helps with bowel movements,
And I mean, you need both those things, and one can facilitate the other. I'm not going to tell you the right order. That's for you to find out. But I don't know. Like a couple of things in Magic have been getting my goat a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
There's this little card, this little motherfucker of a Magic card called Orcish Bowmasters. I don't know if y'all have heard of it.
Yeah,
I've
heard of it.
I've seen that. And you know what? It doesn't die to Doomblade, which is pretty fucked, I think.
That is true.
So what do you do about it?
Well, you can't. I mean, you can't. There's nothing you can do about it. Yeah, nothing can be done. Here's the thing about Bowmasters I think is very funny, and it's something like design-wise that is bugging me. Bowmasters is like, hey, let's punish card draw. But what it really does is it punishes decks that are bad, like worse than just generically drawing cards. So in the CDH context, which is where my brain is at most of the time, it's like, hey, we're going to make Rhystic Study, Mystic Remore worse. But what that really means is, hey, all those green decks that are already struggling to be relevant, we're going to fucking shit on those. and also, do you have a 2/2? Do you like tutus in any way, shape, or form? Do you want to put a 2/2 in your command zone? Well, you can get right fucked because that thing is dead. That thing is dead immediately. So it's this thing of like try to fix one problem and then the second order effect is making other problems worse. And I guess that's just like a design thing, right? You can't anticipate everything. Right. And I don't actually think Bowmasters is on its face like a design mistake or whatever for CDH. I think it's fine, and you just got to adjust to it and deal with it like any other card. But it is a little bit kind of frustrating to see a card provide such free real estate to strategies that didn't need the additional help, and that can still benefit from just passively sitting around drawing cards and doing nothing until the last possible second.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
definitely.
For sure.
I feel like I will say though, like those 2/2 decks that you're talking about are probably usually mostly bullshit Simic decks. So like, I don't feel that bad.
No, there's some of them that are decidedly is it.
Try a bullshit is it deck with a 2/2 in the command
I don't
zone.
feel bad for a bullshit is a deck either. Like if you're trying to get sympathy, like that's not where it's coming from.
How
for
about
me.
this? What about a little Timna? Little Timna action. Very
Dude,
honest, very fair. 2/2.
It's a bummer.
2/2.
And like mana dorks, that's the big thing. Like I really resonate with what you say because I play Naya and play Dawnwaker, which is very reliant on mana dorks and stuff like that. And Bowmasters just eats your lunch, man. And I think there's nothing that's more indicative of the fact that Bowmasters punishes small creatures and not card draw is when somebody who plays an Orcish Bowmaster and there's a Esper Sentinel out and they keep the Esper Sentinel alive.
Just so they can
shoot more
Get more
things.
snipes.
And I'm like, this isn't punishing card draw at all.
Because it wants more of it.
Exactly. It wants the card draw. It feeds off it. Like One Ring and Orcish Bowmasters, you're like, I'll be killing fucking 4/4s in a couple turns.
Exactly. Just be like, great, let's work together. So that's been a little. It's kind of, and I love Dockside Extortionist. I think that like Dockside is a design mistake, but it is it's good because it makes games faster. And in CDH, games going slower, probably not a good thing for various reasons. But like Dockside is a design mistake, but I love it. It's fun, it's explosive, it's splashy, and again, makes games faster, so that's cool. But Bowmasters has the Dockside problem of as soon as it lands, the game becomes entirely about it. It's like, okay, this is Orcish Bowmasters, the game, or now this is Dockside, the game. And I feel like those effects holistically, you can't really consider them to be like a great thing, like a great like move. And I don't know, man, like I pay attention to tournament shit and CDH, and we're just living in a Timnacrom world. Like that shit is just everywhere, always, forever. And there's no kind of downside to playing that deck's strategies. There's no significant weakness that deck is exposed to, and Bowmasters should have been a good tool against the deck, but it turns out it's just another great tool for the deck to also leverage.
Because it's two bodies. That's great. Now I get to attack with more stuff.
It's two bodies, and like that deck doesn't actually need to resolve a Timna. It could just play Study or Fish or Trouble in Pairs or whatever, and just be like, and Crom, and just be like, all right, I'm just going to do nothing. Play a little control, win the game. Because I don't need a board state, actually, to win. I just need Breach or any Oracle. And, like, I don't know, man. I kind of like decks that need a board state. I think that's kind of cool to, like, commit to the board and have shit that, like, have creatures and stuff. I think that's a healthy thing. So Bowmasters has been getting my ire a little bit, but I think that I'm overall a little less salty about sort of CDH and where it's at. I wrote an article called like Escaping Mid-Range Hell a little while ago about like, just being like, fuck, we're just in like the Ristic Study, sit around, draw a million cards era, and games are going to time. Draws are happening all the time. And like, that sucks. I don't love that. So what do we do about it? I found a very good, useful strategy that I'm going to share with the lovely miners. This is how you fight mid-range hell. You say that cards like Ristic Study and Mystic Remora are extremely dishonorable Magic cards. Incredibly shameful pieces of cardboard.
I mean, they're blue, so they're trash, so it makes sense.
That's exactly, Tony. And that's exactly what I'm thinking. We're going to use some of your hater energy here, and we're going to channel it to good.
He's got a lot of it.
We have to say that these cards are just shameful, dishonorable pieces of shit cardboard. And in doing so, it kind of makes people feel a little bit bad, but like in a funny way, but they feel a little bit bad for playing them. Like it's the easy way out. Yeah. And I think that that's kind of a cool ethic to bring back into CDH. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the casual mindset of like, no, you should have to jump through some hoops. And I think that that's actually kind of base to also jump through some hoops in CDH and not just take the easy way out. So using that rhetoric, which I have stolen from my friend Liam, and they live here in Santa Fe, they're a lovely little chaos gremlin. That's been the most useful thing for our local meta ever. Because like we're constantly clowning on people with card draw in the zone, constantly clowning on people like, who just sit behind the study. We're like, yeah, you might win this game, but you're not going to feel good about it.
At what
like
cost?
At what cost? Yeah, your soul is getting uglier by the second. And I don't know. At least it's a way to kind of lighten the mood. If you're going to have to sit through those games, at least you can like have some fun jokes to make.
Definitely. I think it's a good point. I mean, CDH, like the meta is, it's sizably determined by what wins, but it's also sizably determined by what people play. And if people just don't want to play those things, they'll show up less, and you'll get differences and different shit going on. So I
exactly. Like I think, I get it when stakes are on the line. People are like, I'll play the best deck. I'll play Tim DeCrom or Kinnan or Sisay or whatever. And, pick your 3 or 4 decks that are just the deck of the moment. But I am always going to root for the weirdo. I'm always going to be like, holy fucking shit, this, whatever, like Ujutai and whatever deck almost made top 16.
Like,
I'm always going to be like, that's the story. Tim DeCrom winning, snooze, I sleep. But like the weird rogue deck, that's real shit. I'm awake. I'm awake. And like, not to say, good on the Tim DeCrom piles for winning. It's hard as fuck to win a CDH tournament. You get your money, you get your flowers, good on you. But I'm not going to like be super excited to like talk about that. I'm gonna like talk to my friends about the fucking deranged Cobblepot list that somebody like top 16s with. I'm gonna be like, that's funny and that's cool as hell. And I've noticed that that attitude in my local meta has gotten people to like go back to their pet deck.
Mm-hmm.
They would like play the meta deck for a little while and they'd be like, yeah, this shit is fucking broken. I'm winning all the time and it's fine. But then they're like, you know what? I'm sick of dishonorable magic. I'm going to play my fucking stupid Malcolm Kedis deck because it's got a dumbass lizard in the command zone. And, and they're like
super weird win con.
Yeah. And that's like their baby, and it's really gratifying to see that. I also recommend for the CDH players out there, one more tiny little tip. If you have a copy of Rhystic Study in your deck, no, you don't. You have a copy of Unstable Harmonics in your deck. You buy that fucking dumbass secret layer version right now. You fucking put that silly video game coded version of Rhystic Study, and when you cast it, or the fucking Arcane or Fortnite or whatever, you make yourself say, I'm casting Unstable Harmonics. In other words, shame the card itself. Treat it like shit. Treat it like dog shit. And you will feel better. You'll feel more honorable and more noble when you at least you're like, treating it with the disrespect that it deserves.
Dude, that's the thing. I see Unstable Harmonics in a lot of CDH lists out there. And I think it's because it's very hard to find a foil Rhystic Study. And people want a foil to bling out their decks. But I see it, man.
Yeah.
But I totally agree.
Funny.
Mike and I have got the same perspective on Tim DeCrom. Like Blue Farm, yes, it is a fantastic deck.
Great deck.
Yes, it is boring as plain oatmeal that is unseasoned.
It's it's fun to win a game, and it's not without its complexity or whatever. But again, like I'm never, ever, 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 ever going to be surprised when a pilot wins an event with that deck.
Yeah.
Ever. That contributes no news. That contributes no information to the universe. That's just like that's like a given. That's like a physical law. And so, I encourage people to let their freak flag fly. Play the tier A or tier B deck. Don't play the S tier obvious crazy thing unless you really want to, in which case God bless you. Like
exactly.
It's
fine. I feel you.
There's nothing wrong about it, but like play your weird shit. Hate blue. I guess this is me kind of coming around to Tony. Like, I understand why the hater energy is useful. I understand why like hating the hegemony of blue or whatever. I get it now. I think I've come to appreciate it.
Because last time I didn't feel good when we were having this conversation. Because it was more like, why don't you love blue? And now you're like, fuck blue. And I'm like, my life is complete. Literally complete. I don't think you even understand, Ken, how complete you just made my life.
I think I realized that like at heart, I'm a red guy. I just want to go fast and be dumb. I want to go fast and be dumb. And blue is a crutch. And like, crutches are cool. They help people walk when they're fucked up. But that
is true.
That is true. Like crutches are cool. Crutches are dope. But like,
we're gonna put that on a fucking shirt. Like,
I think the ubiquity of like needing to do one thing because it's optimal in a tournament environment. I think that's a little sad, a little boring, and not a great indicator of health. And unfortunately, I think playing blue is up there. So I'm kind of in the blue is a little shameful camp now. And I play a blue deck. Like my deck is red and blue. I try to temper
It's so
my
red,
cringe blueness with very based redness. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Park Sakashima is such a red deck because it's so chaotic.
I like to think so. I own myself all the time, and that's very red.
That's my favorite moment playing with a Karkin Sakashima deck is when they do their turn, they roll a couple die, and then they're like, all right, pass the turn. And they're like, hell yeah, sweet, dude. That was great.
There's a sick meme from the Krark Discord of somebody who's like, it's like a clock, and like 12 o'clock is like cast Krark. 3 o'clock is like cast Jessica's Will, lose the flip. 6 o'clock is like pass the turn. 9 o'clock is like smile at your opponents. 12 o'clock, and it's just like that's the fucking. We're just on that clock, baby. I'm failing to cast one spell multiple turns in a row. That's what I'm choosing to do for fun in my life.
But when it hits, you probably are winning or pushing a winning board state. Like
exactly,
especially with Jessica's Will.
It's so worth it. It's so worth it to just own yourself for those rare moments, or not so rare, but those moments of victory.
I definitely agree with what you're saying about like mid-range hell. I think one of the coolest things that are coming out of it are we're seeing like a different type of off meta deck. We're kind of seeing these decks that are like parasitic on the card draw. And I don't just mean like running Orcish Bowmasters and stuff like that. But even that, kind of catching myself here, even that we do also see decks that are parasitic on Orcish Bowmasters, like Op Nixilis, for example. Who wants that 1 damage ping. But you also see things like Trouble in Pairs, art controversy aside, an insane amount of card draw coming off of that because other people are drawing so many cards, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
And then you just have like absolute unga bunga decks of fucking, the big dinosaur just dropping it
Atali
down.
is just the coolest shit.
The Phyrexian Atali decks have been crazy, and they've been really, really good. It's awesome to see.
Yeah, I love that deck to the end of the fucking earth and back. Any Unga Bunga deck deserves infinite respect, and that is the most Unga-ist of all the Bunga-ist of CDH decks thus far. And like, literally, I think I actually did get down on my knees and thank God when a friend of mine was like, I'm printing out Atali. I'm going to show up to it with Atali by CDH, because I was like, you know why? I have been fucking waiting to clone and heat shimmer Atali for months. Not one person has brought it to my meta yet. And I'm like, I just want to infinitely heat shimmer Atali. Can a guy just get a fucking break? And somebody finally did it. I'm so thrilled. A Trouble in Pairs story or little anecdote I think is really beautiful. A friend of mine, Onyx, they had the most brilliant fucking Trouble in Pairs idea ever. Go get a signature from every artist that artist ripped off. Go get like on that card, have a signature from every artist whose art got stolen for that. And I was like, that's incredible. That would be an amazing project.
I do wonder how those artists would feel though. Would they sign it with a smile?
Kind of shitty about it. I don't know.
I'd be like, sign it, but also write an insult or like draw a dick or whatever the fuck you want,
sign the whole piece. Sign the whole piece of what was taken.
Make a stupid mustache on the face or something, like whatever.
Clown on this little silly artist,
exactly, dude. That shit was wild. Holy hell.
Yes, I know.
Well, that is some fucking good salt, Ken. We appreciate that. And you know what?
I appreciate it.
The stink of the shit has almost dissipated.
It has subsided.
It's gone.
The stench has dissipated.
It definitely slid down that hole pretty fast, though. Sorry, Tyler.
Yeah.
Salt is smelling salt too. It can really just woof. We're awake now. Hopefully, we feel alert. We feel refreshed.
Yeah. At the same time, I think I have like a deviated septum or something, so I think I just can't smell it quite well. So like,
that's okay.
I can't tell if it's there or not.
That's a blessing. A blessing on your house. May your family always have deviated septums.
And I have one of those septums that just makes it stink way worse. I don't know what you call that.
You're just clear. You're clear as day. Like,
awful.
Free flowing.
Oh man. Well, thank you for coming in and hanging out with us and voiding your bowels and your salt in the mine with us today, Ken.
I appreciate it. Very accommodating facilities and souls. I appreciate it as always. Y'all are the best.
Oh, thanks, man. We appreciate it. And thanks for joining us on our 100th episode. It was a lot of fun to have you.
My pleasure. I'm excited to listen.
And thanks for admitting that blue is actually trash. So
Yeah.
that's what we really needed today.
Yeah.
The fans know it. So
Yeah,
I
here we are.
know. It's, and also something I've been saying lately is counter spells, cringe.
Fuck yes. Oh my god.
Let's just play fewer of them.
What?
Even the blue players, let's just cut them.
What happened?
Counter spells.
What
Live your
happened to
life.
you? Who hurt you?
I'm more of the like fuck it, just win pilled. I'm like
I feel
more
that.
proactive
True
pilled.
turbo
Just
pilled.
like I'm not
Mhm.
trying to be a cop. I'm trying to just jam. You know?
Yes.
Yeah, just jam. Just be be Unga Bunga, be Atali,
Yep.
and just put your fucking game winning spells on the stack. And if you get blown out, stop caring immediately. And just whoever wins, it doesn't matter. Just stop giving a shit.
Unga Bunga, Smooth Brain, Monk together strong,
Bingo. No think, just jam. Counter spells are for the weak. And they're unfortunately they're a necessary evil. But again, we can purify our souls slowly
true.
but surely.
Yep. That is very true. I'll have I have no counter spells on my Marath list.
Beautiful.
Nice. Not even
Absolutely
Tibble Trigger?
beautiful.
Does that get run and shit?
I don't have
You don't
Tibble
run
Trickery anymore.
Pyroblast?
Maybe I do.
Higher REB?
REB,
Yeah,
dude.
okay.
Yeah, but I'm
Okay.
countering blue
Come
stuff, you know what I mean? I'm
on.
countering blue stuff, so it's cool. It's cool, though.
It is cool. It
I
is
mean,
cool,
honestly, I'll take it.
yeah. Kind of. Yeah.
Nice. 2 out of 3 at
kind
that.
of.
Well, we appreciate it, Ken. Thanks for hopping in the mind, man. And we'll have to have you back on. This is fun.
Thanks for using the facilities, and we'll see you next time.
That sounds perfect. Would love that.
Just shut the fucking door on the way out.
Yeah,
all
Yeah,
right?
close
I'll
the
show
door.
you the way out, and I'll take
Always.
the sign down. It seems like maybe that's a little bit misleading.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
you
that sound
know,
was confusing.
Yeah.
that plumbing's not going to work much longer anyway. So just go ahead and go and close it out.
Sort of a single use kind of
It's a
situation.
single-use situation. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God. Man, it's always so fun to talk to Ken. It's been so long since we've seen him, He's a
Yeah,
great dude.
you're definitely gonna build some Krark Ishai lists.
Well, I have to beat Tony to the Krark lists because I know he
Oh, you
wants
gotta
to
beat me
rebuild
to him.
Krark.
You know me. I'm rushing on in.
Whoa, Tony,
Tony.
your voice.
Your voice is a little bassier than normal.
Yeah, I when one decides to drop Savala, your voice changes. You go through a period of
Wait a minute. There's a Party City tag sticking out of the flap on your neck. Let me just fucking
but Sam, what's salt? Wait, no.
No. Ian, comedian MTG.
Oh my God, it's Ian.
Hello.
Have you been Tony the whole time?
My lawyer has advised me not to confirm or deny whether I've been Tony the entire time, but I will confirm that I was Tony at least part of the time. Yeah.
Man,
A non-zero amount.
A non-zero amount of being Tony.
you've really been throwing us for a loop with the Silvala stuff. On one hand,
Yeah,
you love it. On the other, you hate it. It's like, oh my God. But still, you subjected us to it weekly.
Oh, yeah,
That's
of
the
course.
cruelest trick, I think.
This was like your Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde situation. You were like, I'll don the mask and become my true villainous self.
Yeah, or some like reverse Truman Show shit where he's like,
Yeah,
"Man,
literally.
they're still playing against Silvala. This is great." Well, Ian, it's good to see you here. It's auspicious that you decided to doppelganger Tony on our 100th episode of the podcast.
Yeah, I was listening to some of the old episodes and I was like, yeah, I think just the show needs more other people wearing Tony's face.
It's a good
Yeah.
face.
That is a bit that we lean on very rarely, So
Well,
I think it's a good
I honestly, the audience can't prove it either way, as it's mostly an audio medium.
That is so true. And with AI these days, you really
Yeah.
don't know,
Yeah.
Well, Ian, you first came into the salt mine on episode 42, which was back in April of 2023.
An auspicious number. A memeable number, in fact.
It's almost like a little over a year, just barely. That's kind of crazy.
Just a little over a year. It's fucking
Well, we
crazy.
were gonna do this last week, so I think we literally would have done this on the exact calendar year date. My first guest appearance.
Yeah, we were pretty fucking close.
Yeah, that's so funny.
That's wild. So, I mean, we did have you in the mine with Callahan around December.
Yeah.
But at that time, you were Ian, the Sculpty Boy. Now you are
Yes,
comedian
yes.
MTG, the
Yes.
individual content creator.
Mhm.
An entirely different entity.
Yeah, a different
completely
skin
different
mask.
boy. Yeah. I'm a sculpty man now. Yeah.
I'm a sculpty man. Just like Gumby, the original sculpty man.
I hate it.
And that's a joke that you can save for your show later on. You can surprise your friends with that one.
Oh, they're gonna be ready for this tight Gumby joke.
You pull it out, written on your hand. It gets all smudged. What is that?
Gumby sculpt. Sculpt
Gumbo.
Gumby.
You guys remember Gumbo? So Ian, it has been so long since we've seen you. I feel like I have to ask, what's been making you salty lately? You know, catch us up with your salt journey.
I got a fresh one right off the grill. So, you know, because that's how you treat salt, is you grill it,
how
right?
it's traditionally prepared. Yeah,
I prefer my salt grilled, braised sometimes, but mostly grilled.
Yeah,
I just remember growing up and getting boiled salt every time. And yeah. So
I could always do like a salt stir fry, you know, personally, but that was only for special occasions in my house, for sure.
So off of this grill.
Off of the grill. So when we're off the grill onto the future. So this one is pretty recent. I entered a tournament, trusting my Mind Sculptors co-host of Callahan with one of their babies, which is Arden in CEDH. Love Arden, right? Like that Cal is obsessed with this commander. I've been ambivalent and negative about it for a very long time. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I'll give in at some point. I'm always asking people for challenges, right? So like, this is the day, this is the time for me to go in this tournament and do it, right? And Cal's telling me the whole time, the whole, like the big gimmick of the deck, right? Is that like Arden's so close to Timna, because what happens is when you get Skull Clamp, Arden allows you to clamp other people's stuff with its ability, and then you draw cards. And I'm like, whoa, it's so broken, right? And I'm like, Cal, I don't know. I don't feel like you can actually clamp other people's stuff that much, right? Like I'm insisting on the fact that I don't think this is a realistic play pattern. Like,
yeah. How often does that really come up?
Yeah, Cal's like, I've been grinding MTGO, every Rog Rack, every Llanowar Elves, boom, they get clamped. And I'm like, okay, Cal, like I promise you, I feel like this isn't realistic, right?
Hit him with the clamps.
And so I hit him with the clamps, right? So I go to this tournament. Game one, I'm in a position against Najila on the play. I'm like, oh my God, they're going to play Najila. They're going to swing. They're going to get the clamps, right?
That's a clamp you.
We lose my turn one, Najila on the play's turn two. I'm like, okay, setting a bad precedent for the day, but that's all right. Round two, perfect clamp opportunity. There's mana dorks. There's all these things. There's a Dranith Magistrate in place, and it's turn two. And I just go, okay, maybe not my round for clamping. That's fine. That's fine. You know, the central conceit of this deck is not working, but that's fine. We adapt, we grow, we overcome, you know. The rest of the day, proceed to have a match that alternates between yes, a target for Skull Clamp, and yes, a Dranith that lasts the entire game.
Oh my gosh.
And alternating games where Skull Clamp is literally not able to be relevant for the entire day, all 6 rounds of play. Even in the semifinals, when we have a Magda in seat 1 that's popping off, Kenrith in seat 2 goes Dranith. I was really afraid of the Roxanne deck. The Roxanne player and I go, well, if only we had access to a removal in the command zone that could deal with Magda. And Magda proceeds to slowly kill us over, I want to say, like an hour and 20-minute game, to which every single time we were like, if only there was an answer to this Dranith Magistrate.
Man, how do 3 players not have a lightning bolt between them in this economy?
It was fascinating. So truly, never more have 3 people wanted one poor Dranith gone. Well, the worst part too was like every time I would get kind of close to that, I wouldn't have enough to, because I had a path and touch of the spirit realm in my hand the whole time, right?
Yeah.
But every time Magda would start popping off, we'd be like, well, I got to kill their thing, and then Dranith would be there like, I'm still here.
Yeah, that's so tough when you have like the stacks piece that you need to remove, but you have to burn the removal to stop people to win. Like, that's just the game at some points.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who's the partner with Ardennes in that list?
So that was a Vial Smasher variant.
That's cool. So like Mardu, Ardennes.
Yes. The deck became like me going, all right, it's sort of like a bad Mardu Turbonaz deck 90% of the games, but I'd be like, well, I have 6 tutors for Conqueror's Flail. You guys gonna let me have it? And then some games they would say no, and then I would lose. And some games they would say yes, and then I'd win.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I feel like 1 toughness creatures are not as prevalent now that Bowmasters are a big thing.
Well, I think Bowmasters is one of the few things that ironically can get the clamps, right?
Yeah,
Right.
totally.
True.
Yeah.
But like, if you just have the 1 skull clamp and you yourself aren't making 1/1s, you're just kind of hoping that somebody across the table is going to do that.
You're living on a hope and a prayer. I was
hoping to find your forbidden orchard.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing is like actually that is tech in the deck. Whereas you play Forbidden Orchard, give them the spirit, and you're like, oh, I'll take that back. Thank you very much.
That's spicy.
Yeah.
So I play a Roger Ardennes casual deck, like high power casual. My own equipment take up every Ardennes activation. Like I think through how I play that deck, and I don't know if there's ever a moment where I'd even be able to or want to give something to someone else to draw a few cards. I mean, granted, in a build that's focused around that mechanic, I'm sure it's a bit different of a balance. But that's interesting.
Yeah.
Sounds spicy, even though you had some brutal losses.
Yeah. Are you going to be playing that at your next events?
No, not even slightly. I was like, Cal, I don't even think this deck is necessarily bad, but it is for sure not for me. I was like, really, this is the opposite. I was like, I already kind of hate equipment. And I was like, Arden makes them vaguely digestible. And I was like, oh, no, sorry, indigestion immediately. No, thank you. Someone give me a Tums.
I hear you on the equipment thing. Like the one thing that they have going for them is that they're mechanically clunky, which makes sense for them thematically.
Yeah.
Like, it should be a little bit annoying to like pick up your whatever and do your thing with it.
Unsheathe your sword and
exactly. Like that makes sense that's annoying. So that fits, but that makes me not like them also.
I was just like, okay. Yeah, I can slap this thing on the dude, and then if my commander gets bounced, I'm set back 3 turns. Cool. All right. And then I don't really do anything else. And it was cool. I played Pit Boy from the Fallout set. I was like, that card was kind of hot because you go to combat and then untap 2 lands every time. And like that one, you don't really need Arden for because it's 1 to play, 1 to equip. And I'm just like, all right, Pit Boy, I see you.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Good. Does it run Stoneforge Mystic and Sword of Hearth and Home?
Stoneforge, no sword.
I hate the deck.
Garbage. No, it runs like 4 equipment though. Like realistically, it's like Helm of the Host for Godo. It's the Masterwork, the Skull Clamp. I guess 5, the Conqueror's Flail, and then
Sword of Fire and Ice.
I was running 6. Whoa, yeah, I was Pit Boy, and then I was playing Mask of Memory, classic casual staple.
Mask of Memory.
Yeah, I deal combat damage. You draw 2, discard 1. It's like the most efficient card draw in equipment, unfortunately.
That's very interesting.
But it filled up my breach line.
Sword of Hearth and Home tutors you another equipment and gets you a land.
Get those lands. Sword of Hearth and Home and Stoneforge Mystic is like my favorite shit.
Yeah, that's all Sam does.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
Whatever deck Sam is playing is doing that.
Yeah, we had a game last weekend where Tony was playing his Frodo Voltron deck, which just has all the swords and shit in it.
I hate that so much. That sentence is just like really upsetting.
It sucks to face.
Yeah, man.
Is it the level up Frodo?
Yeah, it's the level up Frodo.
So you can just one-shot people. So he's just looking for evasion and enough temp triggers. And then he's like, well, I'll just one-shot everybody.
I'll just put 7 mana into Frodo and kill you in 1 hit. With a bunch of protection.
Yeah. Cool. I feel like I don't talk about like casual a lot on this show when I'm a guest because I feel like we always lean into CEDH and you guys are secret CEDH goblins who want to talk about it all the time.
Yes.
But as Sam and I have definitely talked about this before, Voltron is my least favorite strategy in all of Commander.
Oh, man, I fucking love it.
Like the whole thing is you're like, I'm going to be the terrorist of the table. Because you know what? With me, it's like I like to be the secret DM of the table, right? Where I'm just like, okay, yeah, I'm not actually going to like kill that person's thing. I'm going to let them have fun for a little bit. And like, they won't level up against this boss, right? I'll just like let them sort of do their thing, right? With the Voltron player, they're always like, oh, can I put this other sword on and kill one person so they sit around for 45 minutes while their friends don't actually die to me, the Voltron player? It's like, get out of here, dude.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Yeah, Voltron either kills a player and then has someone that can like interact with it, and then the Voltron player is out, or the first person that they attack is the person that can deal with it, and then the Voltron player sits there literally the entire time and can't do anything.
Or the third option, the Voltron player kills everybody and wins. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
I try to do that when I play it.
Yeah.
Now you said try, Sam, and that's really indicative to me.
That's a scenario that can be described, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, Voltron is a tough thing. Like I love it because it's so unga bunga that it's just like I'm just gonna equip this missile and just chuck it at you, and can you do something about it? And like the Voltron decks that I play, I try to have them where I can pop off, kill one person, protect my board, kill the next, protect my board, kill the next, and like keep it a clean sweep, because I'm very aware that it is a salt-inducing thing. If you just spike somebody with commander damage and then get knocked out, it's going to be a bummer for you and the other person.
Well, then, you and the other person are sitting there across the table, just like,
yeah,
ew, how'd you end up here? Like,
but I mean, there's some pretty awesome tricks that you can put into your Voltron decks. Like in Rafik, there's that enchantment that gives you an additional combat. Like extra combats in general are really fantastic for Voltron, and just put some fucking combos in your deck. Like I got Godo in my deck,
Audio listeners, Mike and I are just sitting here shaking our heads.
We're just in disgust.
We're not having it.
Sam just going off on an excited little info dump, and us just like, ugh.
Mike, if you don't respect my Voltron decks, I'll play them more often.
Fine. I respect them so much.
What if he respects them enough to hate them?
Yeah, that is kind of it. No, you won't play them more often, I feel like.
Yeah, I truly won't play them more often. Like Rafik, I love to play, but it is a sometimes deck because it leads to those board states. And because it is something where I'm like, this game's going to be over fucking fast, and you guys probably aren't going to have a good time. So, I'm sentimental with it. I take it out sometimes. Rograk Ardennes is kind of a different animal because it can pivot into combo wins so easily. Where, basically like you get Godo or you get the Angel in Sword of Hearth and Home. I always forget her name. Aurelia, I think, the war leader. And Sword of Hearth and Home.
Yeah, and that's some of the stuff that I like too, right? Is like when like the Voltron leads into something, right? Like sort of like you hit a person, you get some card advantage. It's like, okay, cool. Like they're doing the thing. It's not just like put sword on Angel, murder. Like it's okay, sure.
It's a little bit of that. I mean,
Rafik is hit you twice in the face with 11 power,
Well, that's the beauty of Rafik is that I'm like, well, he's also untouchable and unkillable, and I have a handful of counter spells. So like as soon as I knock out one person, I am gonna knock out the other
monster.
Ooh, that little bit of control in your Voltron. So good.
No. I thought you were gonna say you like Rafik because he has double strike and therefore he has specifically Unga and Bunga, right? So.
Oh, dude. Now I need an altar with Rafik where he's got Unga and Bunga. Yeah, it is super, super Unga Bunga. I just love that it's double strike and he just comes down and he's like, something gets double strike and you just do a big hit and then you pass the turn. It's great.
I do love that we managed to turn a story about skull clamping stuff with Ardennes into you loving Rafik.
You should have known as soon as Ardennes was mentioned that I was immediately going to get a Voltron boner and just wave it around the mine.
If you have a Voltroner lasting more than 4 hours, consult your doctor.
Because that's a long game and you got to stop that game.
Yeah, if you have a Voltron game that lasts more than 4 hours, something has gone wrong.
Yeah, seek help.
You've built the slowest Voltron deck in town.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Oh my gosh. Well, Ian, thank you for wearing Tony as a skin suit and joining us for our 100th episode. We really appreciate it, man, and appreciate all the support that you give us for the show. I know that you're a big listener as well, which is awesome. I always love like when I bump into you in person because you're like, when can I come back on the show? And I'm like, I'm like, well, soon. We'll work you in soon.
Dude, you know what the worst part is? You made it competitive, right? Because you said I have to be on now more than Lua, and then you know me, I'm a competitive guy, and now you're like, oh hey,
We did
now
a
twice.
bad
I'm gonna
thing.
have you come on either right after her or when she's gonna be on this episode, and it's the most. That's what makes me salty, Sam. That's what makes me...
I can't pick favorites. I love you both so much. Just wait till we get Jin on, your cat. It's gonna be a riveting
I think
episode.
he might have actually just a moment ago. He was chirping at some birds. So
oh, nice, we got it.
We'll
got
just
that
amplify
crispy.
it.
yeah,
Sam
yeah.
will find that sound, scrub it
isolate
clean,
that.
and then amplify it and put it in.
It's 2:00 in the morning, like not heat off, just like trying to listen to headphones.
Sweating.
Where is it?
Was that a cat sound? Oh man. Well, really, Ian, we appreciate it. Thanks for hopping in the mind today, man. This is
Thank
super
you very
fun.
much, guys.
You can keep hanging out in the mine. You just got to put the skin suit back
Yeah.
on, and
Oh,
we'll
okay.
just never know from here on out for the rest of history if it's Tony or you.
Yep.
And
yeah.
that's the sort of ambiguity I like to perpetuate at all times, you know?
Yeah, that's what we're looking for.
Exactly. That's the vibe that we're trying to cultivate here.
That's got the kind of will it skull clamp, won't it skull clamp energy that we like to bring to the table.
All right, I'm gonna go hide in Tony. See you later.
All right. Is that mask back on? Is Tony back again?
Yeah, are you good to be Tony again?
Yeah. Can you be Tony again?
Yeah, it's secure. We're good.
Oh,
Okay.
Whew.
Thank you.
Actually, hold on. Let me tuck this tag in.
And
got a
could you
little
change
tag
out
here.
of the cutoff tank that you were in under the mask as well, and just put on some more normal like Tony clothing as well? It's throwing me for a loop.
Yeah.
you got it. I'll throw on some sweatpants and a fucking sweatshirt.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
They're two bright colors that are not matching. So
Yeah,
you know
awesome.
it's me.
Yeah.
I mean, or if you wanted to put on the Selvala cosplay that you're always wearing when we record, like that would also.
Damn, that's private
good.
for you and I.
I mean, that is why we don't do video content.
Yeah, it is.
The fans can't handle my fucking Selvala cosplay.
I mean, it's pretty good. It makes me want to parlay, quite frankly.
I mean,
Makes me want to draw the top card of my library after revealing it to everyone, if you know what I'm saying.
I do. And you
And
know
put
what?
it
I hope
into
it's a
your
land,
hand.
dude. I hope
In
it's a
my
fucking
hand,
land.
even. Yeah. And hope it's a land. Yeah. Definitely
Yeah.
makes me want to hope it's a land.
Did you
Yeah.
close the front door, Mike?
Yeah, it's closed now. It is.
Okay, awesome.
Definitely locked as well.
That's good.
Locked,
That's good.
closed, completely sealed. I caulked it as well. So
Shit.
That's my
Whoa.
door hinge.
I just heard a squeaky door hit.
did you hear that door hinge?
The door hinge just onomatopoeia'd at us, dude. I think someone might be entering the mine. I hear two small footsteps.
What do you mean I'm 6'4"?
Oh, it's Lua. Welcome to the mine, Lua.
Guys, it's like that time at Vegas where we met for the first time and then we saw each other 85 times at the same day. We kept pointing at each other. Do you remember that?
I
It's
do,
just like
I
that.
do.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
I was like, those guys are cool. I keep seeing them.
They keep
Now
pointing.
here we are.
That's great.
That was a really funny thing because we had well, first of all, Lua Stardust, everybody. Lua, thank you for coming on. Scry Babies aficionado extraordinaire. See, I got it. I know what you do now.
I was gonna say, you know who
Yeah.
she is now.
No, till this day, like I'll bring it up every time that people will just come up to me and be like, "Thank you for helping Howling Salt Mine do a good outro and a guest intro," and they'll make jokes about it, and it's very silly. And you have a great community. I think
thank
the
you.
three of you have done something really cool and really special. So I'm just honored to be here because you guys are great.
Oh, thanks,
Well,
Lua.
thanks.
Oh, yeah.
We do measure our time before Lua and after Lua. That is
We
one of
really
the
do.
eras of the podcast.
AL,
Yeah.
BLAL.
Yeah. And that was episode 22 that you first came
Wow.
on, which came out in November 17th, 2022. Isn't that fucking crazy?
That's
God,
crazy.
really?
You guys been doing this so long. Hell yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
long ago. And then we also had you on with
Holy
Tori
shit.
for episode 68, which was October 5th last year, 2023.
I was notably upset it wasn't 69. I remember.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
That was a really funny one because I remember Ian was also mad about that. Ian like texted me and he was like, 69 is coming up, right? Can I come on that episode? And I was like, we already have like a shtick, man. Like, I'm sorry, but we have like a thing we got to do.
Yep. We date. I don't know if anybody knows that. We have very similar dumb humor.
But yeah, it was so funny to bump into you at that Vegas convention in 2022 because we had reached out to you to have you on the show, but we hadn't met you in person yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very pleased that you were like, it was good to continue to bump into them because if we had been like annoying and we kept
No, you guys were so sweet. It wasn't like honestly 3 like 6 foot tall giant tall men.
Oh my
It's
God,
not always.
I love that you think I'm 6 foot.
You're next to them, so you feel that tall to me. You know what I mean?
You're 6 foot passing.
Also, I'm like 4'11", so everybody's 6 foot at that point, right? But isn't it crazy to think like now you're creators for MagicCon?
It's
cool,
wild.
right?
Yeah, it's very
It's
surreal.
wild.
We talk about it all the time where we're
fucking
like,
nuts.
we like share a business together. It's fucking weird.
You're just 3 dudes who like magic.
I know.
Yeah.
Just 3 unfunny dudes reading Reddit posts. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Well, Lua, thanks for coming. It's a wonder that you wandered into the mine today because it does happen to be our episode 100 celebration.
Whoa.
We were planning to just shoot the shit, the 3 of us, but people keep just coming in here, which, you know, I think we need to have a talk with Mike after this about the security and integrity of our locks.
Yeah, the sealing methods that I've been using on the door, they have been significantly inadequate.
Yeah. Well, Lua, it's been so long since we've chit-chatted with you. I'm curious if anything has been getting you salty lately.
Yes. Yes, I knew where it was going. Okay, so I have a couple things. First thing is this past weekend, I played a tournament and I went to go sit down for this match and it was my winning in, right?
Mhm.
So I was like, I have to win this one so I can get into the finals. I'm playing Winota 2, which it's not as bad as it used to be, but people will overthink the deck, panic about the deck. And also it's not in the best place in the meta right now, but it kind of is like sliding under stuff, which is really nice. So I was playing it and player 4 gets knocked out. And player, 2 next to me and player 3 across, player 2 knocks out 3. I'm looking at him. He has 5 life left total because he's playing a Rakdos deck and he's just taking a lot of damage and all this stuff is happening. And I look at my high noon, which I can literally crack for 5 and just kill him. Right, and just win the game right there.
Oh yeah, that's the new rule of law stacks piece.
It's the new rule of law, and then you pay a red and 4, and then it hits any target for 5.
It's so awesome.
Sick. So
I love it.
It's great. So I go to do it. I'm like looking at it, and player 4, who's already knocked out, says, "If you do that right now, you're gonna lose the game." Right. And I'm like, well, sorry, you're not even supposed to be talking because you're knocked out. Like legally, you're not supposed to be doing that in a match. I could call a judge and get him in trouble with some kind of either game loss or penalty or whatever,
or lost first turn or something.
Something, right?
Something.
So I was just like, you're not supposed to talk to me. And then I'm like, am I missing something? Am I gonna do this and this guy's gonna win at instant speed, whatever? So I just let it pass back to him. He gets the 1 ring out. Okay.
Oh.
And he's got 2 6/6 flyers, a 7-set, a bunch of big shit because he's playing, the Runescar Demon, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And we go through back and forth talking, and then I go to pop it again, forget he has protection. And then we go to a draw, right? Because time runs out. So the whole time, the other 2 players were talking about how they wanted to draw so bad. Everybody else would have been fine if they lost or drew at that point.
Yeah, but you wanted to win.
But I needed the win. Yeah, they needed the draw. I needed the win. And that's a shitty position. And I wouldn't have cared so much if they weren't just vocalizing how much they want to draw during the game in a place instead of having a conversation with me, it was very oh, why are we playing this game? I want to draw, kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was pretty upset about it. I was talking about it. And the guy goes around the LGS and is talking about how he talked me out of it so he could force a draw. And
that's so fucked up.
Yeah, I was really pissed because honestly, if he had just said, hey, I don't think this thing's going to work. I want to propose a draw. I would have been like, well, first off, shut up because you're not playing. But if he had said this thing to me when he was alive, maybe there'd be a conversation to have. Probably not because I really, really needed that. And I was winning.
Yeah.
And it just made me sad. It made me sad because I get the position you're in. You need to draw. Then you should do everything you can to draw instead of just gaslighting me, and I was sad about
so
it.
shitty. And he's not supposed to talk at all. Like he's not supposed to influence the game at all. But just to remind listeners out there, if you get knocked out in a CDH tournament, you are a ghost. You can do nothing. In fact, often they ask you to leave the table so that you don't influence anything at all.
And it's just like it sucked because I really liked the game store. Went to King's Court. The owner was fantastic. The play was great. Like I really, it was in Massachusetts. I really liked everything that happened. And it was just like that one thing that sucked so bad. And it just like bummed me out. And yeah, so that's my recent salty story. It's high salt rating for me.
Yeah. And for them to fucking brag to the LGS, like I would have been like, I don't know. I think I would have complained to the judge at that point. I would have been like, this person who's bragging. Yeah, they did that when they were out of the game. They had been knocked out.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing to brag
about. He made it
about.
to the finals, so that like stung you more, but then Ian beat him. So I was like, yeah, that's all I need.
Right.
And I've heard the guy is like really nice, right? Like I believe it, but like that's just like a crappy thing to do. Like if I did the crappy thing, I'd shut up about it. I wouldn't be gloating about it. I'd be like, I gotta wait this thing. Was that crazy? I guess. Like it's just the gloating for me was not great. So
I felt shame for like saying words next to a table I had been knocked out of to actively be trying to influence it towards something like intentionally. It's so messed up.
I just like I try to be as quiet as possible when I'm next to another table. If I'm talking to somebody else about something else that's happening, like it's just you don't ever want to risk somebody else's game, your game.
But you have compassion in your heart, Lua. What if you didn't have that? You know?
Did you learn that during our Punt City game, Sam? my love and compassion for the game.
Oh man, that game was I got so fucking salty that game. I really tried to hide it, and I think I did a good job.
You did. I could not tell you were salty.
I got so tilted when my turn 1 dork got removed. I was like sick. First game in the tournament.
Is that after you protected us from the Tivit turn 1 Tivit too?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, what? No goodwill from fucking saving us for the Tivit? But that's not really how it works. But that game. I just remember sweating. I remember I like broke out in a sweat, and I was like, hopefully I don't look like I'm in a sweaty panic, because I am, in fact, in a sweaty panic right now.
You did great. I was like, it's the most fun game ever. You're like, this game sucks.
It was very fun. There was some good shit that came from it, but
it was a good pod.
I just had like a do nothing game that whole game. It was like, come on, like please, deck, give me something.
That's the worst feeling. All my salty stories lately have been from competitive stuff. So
they can be pretty salty.
Yeah,
you know?
They get that high like energy moment, especially around that game, like the play-in game, because like it's usually make or break for kind of everybody. So like at least in the pods where you're make or break, it's very often similar for other people.
It does feel like in this scenario though, it was like deliberate. It wasn't like, oh, they accidentally said something and then like, because there was clearly nothing obvious on the table of like, you know, you had it, you know, and like it just put doubt in your mind.
Was there a SWAT or anything?
They had stacks pieces and things out. So I thought if I had popped my stacks piece, that he could do something at instant speed, and I was missing it.
Because
like hoarding
it
Lord out,
up.
saw Happy Exile, like some other stuff. So I was like, am I just like fucking missing that? And I would have never listened to him in the first place, but I was just like so anxious about winning that I was like, I have to like just pass and see if I could do something else, because I got the guy's life total down really low, and I was like, okay, if I get past this one ring, then I could do something. It just didn't matter. It wasn't enough time. So,
but that makes sense, because you're probably already considering that option, right? Of like, does he have that instant speed interaction or instant speed something that he'll be able to play once the high noon is off the board?
Yeah. And he had nothing in his hand. I asked him after, and I was like, I hate everything, because I saw like his deflecting SWAT was like in his bin, like things like that. So yeah,
that shit is so infuriating. Whether it's in a competitive event or even in a casual game, I hate it when somebody comments on my board and they're like, oh, you have the win right now. And I'm like, do I? Because then I just start like tanking, not to put you on blast, Mike, but you often do this to me. and then I'm just tanking, trying to find the line. And I'm like, am I a complete fucking idiot?
Just find it without tanking, dude.
Ian does it to me all the time. He'll do it when we're filming too, which is good, because like we need to like end the game. He'll be like, you have the win. I'm like, bitch, where? Like I can't see that sometimes, or like especially because we're playing so many new decks, right? Where like it's my first or second time playing it because we need to for the show, and I'm like, where?
Yeah. I don't know. There's just something about like if somebody sees something that I don't see and I'm misplaying into it or
I don't want
I'm
to be stupid.
misplaying
I don't want
around
to feel
it, like I
stupid.
feel so dumb.
Yeah.
So how has Winota been playing for you?
Honestly, great. I think she's got a good resurgence. I think like the high new card I was talking about is great. The new
Yep.
Apen Interrupter card is
Oh
really
yeah,
good.
super dope.
I think when I started playing her, I had a very different like strategy, being like, I have to have window attacker of this thing, this thing. Sometimes it's like, no, we keep the stacks piece. No, we keep turn one Magus. No, we keep things like
Yep.
that. And so playing it a little bit differently has been really nice. And also too, like it's crazy how much one stacks piece can warp the game.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Like a Drannith, obviously, everybody's like, oh, my commander, my breach, etc. But like sometimes I'll just play like a little something small, and even mind sensor or something like little and dumb, and it like impacts the game so much. So that part I like a lot. It feels very powerful.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And all of your stuff is a little dumb stacks piece also.
Yeah, a lot of it. Sure. We can maybe play the new dog that's coming out in MH3, the like little corgi card.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. So cute.
Yeah. So it's like worth testing. There's like fun things about it, which is why I still like playing the deck. So
I feel like the CDH meta is such right now where like a couple stacks pieces are good enough. Whereas people used to do this like, and I did it too with my Marath list, this like full heavy stacks plan where it was like, I want 6 stacks pieces on the board. No one can do anything and I'll grind out a win eventually. Now it's like you play a couple and decks are more greedy, I feel like these days. And so mid-range focused that just a little disruption is like a massive tempo hit to them,
Yeah, no, it is very powerful. Just like one piece is really good now. So it's crazy to think about.
Definitely feels like a deck too that is heavily impacted by sentiment, because like it really all comes down to if it gets removed that one extra time, it's a massive difference in like the tempo of what the deck can do.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I think it's better just to be like, okay, we keep a stacks piece. We'll get another attacker soon or something, right? Like I think it also helps with the like politicking and be like, I have one attacker, we're not dying, right? So
yeah,
it is what it is, but I've been having fun.
Well, thanks for wandering into the mine today, Lua.
Yeah,
we appreciate you coming through. This is fun. Hell yeah.
I will come to the mine whenever y'all want me. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited for 100 more episodes of Howling Salt Mine.
Well, thank you.
Very exciting.
Just a heartfelt thanks from the community of the Howling Salt Mine for injecting some much needed professionalism into the show. I'll have you know that I even have notes sometimes for the episodes. I'm like preparing and shit.
I love that.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. Not always. But most of the time I do. Well, thanks again, Loa. This is great.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Go on, get and shut the door.
Yeah, can you lock the door on the way out?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Get better security.
Wait, we do need an outro onomatopoeia, though.
Yeah, we need the door to creak on the way out.
And it's closed.
Well, I mean, we heard Lua close the door, so I think finally we can 100% say that the mine is secure. This was a good stress test. This is a good like emergency test for the security of the mine. And Chef Officer Mike, Security Officer Mike, Chef, yes, Chef. You did a great job today. You did a really good job.
Thanks. Can I earn the I? Can I become a chief?
I'd settle down.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right. I'll stay as chef for another 100 episodes before I seek that promotion.
Yeah. In case you didn't notice, there was a lot of breaches of the security. Like,
I mean, it wasn't.
You did not earn the eye.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what, guys? Security breaches aside, this has been a pretty fantastic celebration of our 100 episodes here in the Salt Mine.
Yeah.
A little bit different, a little bit different than what we normally do, but it was fun. It was a good time.
I guess not planning anything worked out for us.
It really did.
Let's never plan anything ever again.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is that we didn't plan anything for this, and it definitely wasn't the most complicated planning involved in any episode we've ever done, which I think is really good.
Yeah.
That's how you know you did it right.
Yeah. Like we definitely didn't record over the course of a month, coming into a bunch of scheduling issues, tie it together with some sloppy bits. Like I think it was actually very clean.
Whoa, settle down talking
natural.
about my sloppy bits. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Oh my God. I'm sure people will walk away from this episode saying that was an organic 2.5 hours of content.
What a completely natural, very unforced set of bits.
Yeah. they'll be like, holy crap, these guys should do a fucking comedy course.
Yeah. They'll be like, they definitely record in an actual mine too, because everything they described is completely in line with that kind of structure. Like the plot all fits, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
No plot holes really. The only plot hole was the hole that Tyler slipped down and Ken pooped down.
Yeah.
And the fucking not gaping hole.
Yeah, the hole was not gaping.
Yes, that also was a bit. I mean, I think we said
The not gaping light shaft. There we go. I was like, what is that? Those are the holes.
Well, I think this is a good place to wrap up our episode 100 celebration. Folks, we hope you appreciated this episode. It's a little bit different, a little bit weird, but we had so much fun making it.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to 100 episodes of Howling Salt Mine. If you're in the group of prospectors out there that has listened to all 100 episodes, then thank you especially. You're a fucking real one. Like, you're the whole reason that we exist. You're the whole reason we got to make it to 100 episodes. It's an amazing milestone. Who knows? Maybe we'll do some more fun shit at episode 150 or episode 200. This is kind of a fun format. I'm stepping out of the bit now. This is a fun format that we did today.
Yeah. And a big thanks to everyone that wandered in too. It's great having guests on. And that's some of the most fun we have when recording. So it's
it really is.
Really our treat.
Yeah, and it was fun to like see guests that have literally actually been with us the whole time, like from very early episodes to like more recent ones. So it was cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. Some of the guests that we had today are some of our biggest supporters in the show, and like some of the people who have pushed us to continue and like keep up the show and strive to the next thing. So it was just really fun to have them back and kind of celebrate this day with them as well, and with you, all of our listeners out there. Thank you for tuning in every single week, hanging out with us in the mine. You guys really make it all possible, you know. To be schmaltzy for a minute, we talk about how cool it is to have a community around our podcast. And it's such a loving and supportive community. And we just see like friendships occurring between the prospectors out there and people bonding over the funny little jokes that we tell, you know. It's very surreal to see it all happen. And to know that it's something that we kind of helped build. So we really appreciate everybody tuning in with us every single week. It's a special thing for us.
Hell yeah.
But, you know, it's a podcast episode. We got to do our outro. And, you know, we got to shout them out. Our Salt Packet Plus tier prospectors. And this week we have Thotimus Prime, Rothbox, Sire Speedy, Bobo Fett, Randon Mousecop, Chameleon, Brimstone, Captain Cross, Clearbrook, D. Beeson, Gilgamesh, Doug's Dad, Bark Bark, Magic Lilith Rose, Ebes, JS Evolved, Kylock, Not a Frog, Pez, Swankub, and Vok. This is one fucking hell of a list.
I was going to say that's a long list, bro.
Yes. Thanks for tuning in. And thanks again, just another heartfelt thanks to all the prospectors out there that tune in and hang out with us every single week. If you're looking for more content, seriously, consider checking out our Patreon. We have a lot of fun content on there. We have our Off the Rails show, which is this new thing that we've launched. We have that Dragon Ball Z episode that is out there. We're just kind of rambling about things that we're passionate about that are interesting to us. We have our Extra Salt show, which is a once a month show where we're doing deck techs, Q&A, talking about favorite cards that we have, kind of breaking away from our typical show format. And then, of course, we have the Stray Grands, all the funny little tangents that don't make it into the final cut of this episode. I'll tell you right now, we have a fuck ton that came from this episode. We basically recorded with everybody for like 30 to 45 minutes. So there is a lot of content that did not make it into this final episode. So if you're a patron, look forward to a plethora of long extra salts where we are just chit-chatting with these guests, having a really good time, shooting the shit, all the little extra conversations. Our patrons are going to get to enjoy that. Another way that you can help out the show is to send us your salty stories. The salty stories are the lifeblood of the show. Folks out there know that we have a little bit of a backlog. So if you have a salty story that is burning a hole in your pocket, get it in now. You know, we're working our way through the backlog. And as we go through, you know, we're grabbing stories and reading them on the show. So if you wait to send it in, you're going to be waiting even longer. So just get it in. Send it in. I know you've had that story. You've been waiting. Just fucking send it in, dude. And you can send it in on our website, thehowlingsaltmine.com or howlingsaltmine.com, or send it to our Gmail account, which is thehowlingsaltmine@gmail.com. Another way that you can support the show, check out our merchandise. We got t-shirts and merch on our Bonfire store. We have our playmats on the Jank Mats website. And another way you can help with the show is, of course, a 5-star review in your favorite podcast app of choice. It's free. It helps us a lot. It helps us stick out in the algorithm. We get suggested to new listeners, and it helps us grow organically. And it's something anyone can do. You know, it really does help us out a ton. Lastly, we got to shout him out every episode. Our buddy Devin Burnett for giving us our beautiful podcast art. If you're ever in Asheville, North Carolina, hit him up and get a tattoo because he's a really cool guy.
10,000 subscribers or bust.
Indeed. I wonder when we'll get there. Hopefully before episode 200. We'll see. Thanks again for tuning into our episode 100 celebration. We hope you guys enjoyed how silly it was, the different cast of characters that came through. Thanks for being here with us. It's a ton of fun. And we will see you next week in the mines. As always, stay salty and don't forget to draw an additional card during your draw step.
It's the Howling Salt Mine. The Howling Salt Mine.
All right, I'm gonna crack this can of Diet Pepsi first.
Nice. Get fucking wild, dude.
Buddy, I'm drinking tonight.
Fucking grip it and rip it, dude, man. Slam it. Slam the DC.
Oh, man, I didn't bring my drink.
The DC, buddy, we talking DP. Fills you up twice as good. You know what I'm talking about?
You mean Dr. Pepper?
No. Diet Pepsi. Diet Pepsi. My guy didn't go to school. He's from the school of hard streets.
He's not a doctor.
Man.
Is that the salty story that we're looking for? Mike hates new cards.
That is perfect, dude. That is perfect.
You better not cut that thing about waifu pillows, because I swear to God, if I don't alienate some of the fan base.
Sorry, boys. The waifu pillow stays in episode. That's not going out into the world.
Recorded. The opportunity is there.
Mike's vetoing a bit of the show already. This is unprecedented, I think. I don't know if we've ever had that strong of a veto.
It's precedented. It just usually means it definitely goes out.
It's precedented.
I don't know, dude. I was just at a wedding in Cancun on the Caribbean Sea, and that was pretty fucking sweet.
That sounds all right.
Well, I could be fucking getting beat up on the Caribbean Sea, and I'll probably still have a pretty good time.
Recorded.
Hi, buddy.
Hi. Very sweet tone you took with me.
Silly goose. This guy.
Oh, Tux. What a little guy.
Little dude.
What a small gentleman.
What a little gentleman. What a dapper fellow.
A dapper fellow.
Formal man.
And when things do that, like, it doesn't mess up for everybody. Do
I got to.
Here's my original thought as Mike.
I got to. Don't come after me like you've never made that joke before.
That'd be so funny. I love it. Okay, yeah. I was very like, who the fuck is Anthony for?
Anthony.
I'm so used to Tony. I was like, what? That's definitely not even the same
computer
name
right now.
Anthony, who's that?
Who is that? That's like
full
different.
doxing.
Cannot do this, and then he got in trouble for it.
Good.
Oh.
My cat's just like knocked my mirror over. It's not broken or anything, but you guys are so dumb.
7 years or 10, however many.
Between the 9 lives and the 7 years, who knows? All right, we're good. Sorry.
Little precocious kitties.
They're in the mine now. Yeah.
These cats in the mine. No, they're helping with the rodent problem.
Oh,
hi, Jim.
Your favorite boy.
Hi, buddy.
I saw him crawling around and I was like, oh, you guys got to see your favorites, huh?
Oh, look at him
go. Sorry to completely derail you.
No, it's fine.
It's good. It's always worth it.
Cat breaks are always worth it.
My God, I hope you like for the audio listeners, they can't see me literally looking like I'm doing fucking kung fu every minute. It's
I
because
always
Jin
love
is the
this
most.
because there's no non-audio listeners for us.
Yeah. No. Well, you guys are here. Fuck you.
I'll talk about this as if I didn't just listen to this episode earlier today.
Crossover event.
Oh, interesting. Vial Smasher Arden.
Hey.
And you say you make one or perhaps multiple skull clamps and equip them?
yeah, you could say that if they were online.
My body's like that, but if you had that beautiful gallery wall and you just covered it in hair too. Just a lot of hair everywhere. There's just so much.
Good. Yeah,
A shag carpet
beautiful.
wall.
Sweater vest,
hung
baby.
on it.
Sweater
Yeah.
vest.
Nice.
So Tony, did you always know that you were Ian on the inside?
You know, I don't even know where to go with that.
What an unhinged premise.
It's so good. We're yes
think
ending as hard as we can.
That's true.
You can get the I, but we're not going to put it in the word chef. So you can be the chef of security.
How did an I make it
Do all that.
security?
Well, security, SUI, curity, security.
Ah,
S-
now it all
SEI?
makes sense.
Oh yeah, I guess it is SE.
Security.
Happy episode 200 celebration. We hope that you enjoyed it. We had a fuck ton of fun.
A little pre-celebration for 200.
Because
Oops.
it's 100.
Yeah, happy episode 100 celebration.
Professional.
Happy episode. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know what I'm doing.